Apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You went to the Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. As always, packed house. As always, ladies first. My little sis Porsche. What's going on, miss?
Not a whole lot, Kill. How are you?
No doubt, everything is good. JR, R&B Raps. What's going on, good brother?
What's going on? Good to be here, man.
Glory. Burn out the ATL. What's going on, good brother?
What's going on, good people? Let's rock.
Ev, my brother, 9th grade. What's that, like 30 years? You know I can't count no more, man.
Something like that. Don't give an age.
Long time.
Like five.
It's 5? All right, yeah. 92 to 2021 is about 5. You right. I got my peoples out the borough. My man B, my man Ray. What's going on, y'all?
Peace. What's good, everybody? Yeah, it's your boy B Mad. Represent Brooklyn. Represent Put It in Perspective podcast.
Okay.
That's right, BK.
We got one.
That's like when you had a show, they be like, it's Brooklyn, it'd be like one person. JR like, hell yeah, Brooklyn here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just for background for New York City parties, that's what we waited for, to hear is Brooklyn in the house. And then you watch out everybody. All right, you watching for them tonight. All right. That's I'm from Queens, by the way. Favorite perspective, Raymundo, as the friendlies call me. How's everybody?
No doubt. Tell them about the podcast, people. These people got a dope podcast. Y'all know me. Through Twitter, I link with B. And from B came Ray. They got a dope podcast. Y'all already know how we do at Apartment 5B. If it's something that's dope, we got to support it. So tell them a little bit about the podcast, y'all.
Oh, man.
I guess I'm going
to go first, Ray. You want me to go?
Yeah,
go ahead, rock.
B's better at it, man.
Let them know.
Nah, you better. I like your intro, man. Your intro is dope.
All right. Yeah, man. So what happened is, we have a podcast mainly right now on the Nets. We're covering the Brooklyn Nets. We delve into hip hop a little bit here and there. We're gonna work more on getting into the hip hop. But yeah, we collectively came together about 3 years ago. I met Ray through my best friend Mel, and we always wanted to do a podcast together. And so finally, 2021, after all this time, we used to connect on Marco Polo app. And then finally, me and Ray was like, yo, we gotta do something, bro. We gotta put something out there. Just so happened the Nets, got their new big three, so we just felt like, all right, we're gonna use that as a launching pad to get going, get a good feel for this, get our feet wet, and then from there we're gonna work our way into the hip hop. The shows like this that give us inspiration, man. And the support, Kill's been giving me, Portia, like everybody, your boy Eddie, that's usually on the podcast. A lot of love and support. And me and Ray, we just like, yo, we got to do this now, man. The time is now. So please check us out, man. At Put It in Perspective. We follow us on Twitter. Got a YouTube page. Kill, I hit you with the links. You already got them. So we're just trying to do our thing, man.
No doubt. So y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. So one of the things I've said over and over again for years, for when cats send me their music, I feel it's like a lost art, and it's how you set your rhyme off. You know what I'm saying? Like, for people who may not know, I've been running teen centers in the hoods of DC for the past 20 years. So I'm kind of like an ad hoc teacher. So, and I'm a writer. So, I've always been big on, introductions, thesis statements, your body, your conclusion. And I feel like now rappers just rap. They kind of just get on and they just started whatever kind of way they want to start it, ended how any kind of way they want to end it. Maybe about 2 years ago, I put out a 3rd verse challenge because I realized a lot of hip hop nowadays is only 2 verses. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, what happened to the 3rd verse? Like, if you listen to Nas's I Gave You Power, and you just get the first 2 verses, you don't know what happens at the end. You're kind of left like, damn, what happens? Or you listen to Jay's song Cry, and you only hear the first 2 verses. You don't get that 3rd verse, which would be, if you were writing, it would be the in conclusion. So it's letting the listener kind of know what happens, and we don't get that anymore. And a lot of MCs was like, damn, Kill, I ain't really realize how hard this is coming up with a 3rd verse, but I feel like it's a lost art in hip hop. So today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite ways that rhymes have been set off. Like, what was it about it? Like, what was it that just caught you from the second you heard this MC going into the verse? And if anybody has any, because JR brought up a good one last week, even the way people end their verses, you know what I mean? And I don't even mean the whole complete song, but just even the way you would end your verse, it would sometimes get tied in to either the chorus, which we don't see anymore. So I got a couple that we're gonna talk about today and things like that. I got my brother Trey Lee right here, straight out to 215, Philadelphia legend. You know what I mean?
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh man.
I had to get him and Ev on because these are 2 MCs. So we, throughout the show, we're gonna be talking about, Ev and Trey. I kind of want you to jump in when people give their, this was one of my things, what y'all think about it, and then talk about a little bit about why it's so important to do it, and then why it's so hard to do it too, because this is the introduction. Like, when I was writing the paper at Morgan, it was like, yo, I gotta grab my teacher's attention, like with this first line. So it's very important. So Porsche, why don't you set us off with, now, here's the thing, y'all. I already knew my little sis was going to do a lot of big stuff. So I could do big all day. Like this, my whole list could have been big, truth be told. So I stayed away from big just so she could have her big moments.
So I also thought that I don't want to exhaust big, because I seriously was doing this and I was like, I could literally, my whole list could be big songs. So I kept it to a minimum, but I'll start it off with EPMD's The Joint. And that one has always stuck out for me. And the reason for that is the way Eric Sermon kind of like matches his flow with the accentuating part of the beat. When he says, I make $1 million, and then it starts off like the high energy part of the beat. I just think that it's so perfectly executed. His voice is just so incredible that it just sets off the track. Even if you aren't paying attention, you're going to get into it. And I think it's just all to do with that beginning line, literally from when it drops. It's just, it grabs your attention and it keeps you there the whole time. And it's just so dope. The Joint is one of my favorite EPMD songs too, for this reason. Literally only because of the way they set off the whole entire song.
And I know you got 14 tonight, so why don't you do 2 at a time?
14? Okay.
Porsche OD.
Gil said 5, and I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. And then I started it, and I was like, okay, he's getting 11. I can do 11. Like, that's the least Okay, and then I have another one I have is Little Kim's Queen Bee. And I'll keep the, JR, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, she starts off with, if Peter Piper pecked them, I bet you Biggie bust them. Like, it's dope. And that's like a cheat code for Big, because we all know that Big actually can that. So, yeah, I mean, I love her flow. That's my favorite Kim song ever of all time. So, and everything about it, like the beat is dope. She just has immaculate flow and delivery on that. And of course that comes from Big, of course. But yeah, so those are 2 of mine.
Yeah, that Queen Bee joint is crazy. Trey, what are your thoughts on Queen Bee and the way Kim set that off?
No, I definitely love the whole Peter Piper tongue twister in the beginning, because it immediately captures your attention. I mean, I'm not going, for a classic cat like me, you know what I'm saying? You can go all the way back to nursery rhymes, Peter Piper, Pick Peppers, and and then you get to the Run DMC, but then her flip on it, you know what I mean? Peter Piper pecked them, but you know what I mean? But the way her voice, Kim has, I'm always infatuated by the voice, and Kim has one of the better, female voices, you know what I'm saying? Like, definitely top 3 voices of all time. And so she's going to capture your attention, whatever she says, you know what I'm saying? And then when she comes to that kind of line out the gate, it automatically grabs your attention. It's like, damn, what is she saying? You know what I mean? That's a one distinct advantage about being a dope MC is the voice. And Guru said it. If you have that voice, you're automatically going to garner the attention no matter what you say. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that? I know you're not a big Kim dude like that, but
not crazy, but there's some Kim stuff that I appreciate. With that particular one, like Trey said, same thing as the voice. I also love, which is another iteration of the voice is the ride. She has a beautiful ride in the
Yes,
you got a good voice and you know how to fall in them pockets. That Kim does. I got to give it to her. She really knows how to find those pockets and kind of just get in there. So it just makes that groove all the much more better. So yeah, I'm a fan of it too. I mean, she has a couple of joints like that I really like. The Kim joints that I really like is the shit when she's doing them kind of things. It really tracks.
All right, no doubt. B, what you got for one of yours, good brother?
Oh man, the first one I want to start off with. I just only picked 5, but I definitely got at least.
Oh, we always got honorable mentions around here, so. Yeah.
I had to start off with Juicy. I had to start off with Big.
All right.
Juicy, it was all a dream. He Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in a limousine. Who doesn't know that line?
Right.
That whole opening is easily one of the most recognizable opening lines in hip hop. I personally got Juicy in the top 10 hip hop songs of all time. And just the way he set that line off, it's nostalgic. Big's whole rhyme pattern for that whole song is nostalgic. He's just reminiscing on the old times. And you listen to it now, you get nostalgic listening to it and hearing it. Because who didn't have the Word Up magazine back in the day?
Right.
Who didn't have those pictures on their wall? I know as a kid, growing up, my oldest siblings, my sister, she had it, my uncle, even my mom. Just that Big captured that whole essence with that, man. And it's beautiful.
That's dope. Now, Trey, you work with Big. The funny thing about Juicy for me is that this is a song he didn't even want to do. You know what I mean? This is on some old Puff is yo, you got to do this for the radio type thing.
Right.
Is it harder? And I don't know if you've been in this position where, a label has kind of told you or a producer kind of edged you into doing a song maybe you didn't want to do. How much harder is that to come up with a good opening line for something that I don't want to say don't believe in, but that you don't even really want to do?
How much harder is it? I think as an MC, I don't think it's that much harder because if you are a polished MC, your natural inclination is to whatever song it is, you want to set it off right. No matter if you want to do the record or you don't want to do the record, your approach is still going to be the same. I have to set it off right. So I don't think it makes it that much harder. It's just a part of you as the MC that you are. It's just a part of that process, regardless if I want to do it or I don't want to do it. If I am going to do it, I'm going to set it off right.
Right. All right. Good point. JR, the R&B guru, what you got?
Well, since Sports took mine, but I'm going to go with Big. I'm going to go with Warning and how that started off, just with the who the fuck is this paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning, wipe the coal out my eye, see who's this paging me and why, all that. Yeah, he's that's some storytelling. His song is you hearing the beats in the beginning, he's yo, who's paging me, for real. So he's got you in there, so he catches you right from the first line.
And it's crazy because I say this every day, all day. You know what I mean? God forbid somebody calls me before 12 p.m. I'm who the fuck is this calling me this goddamn early? Y'all know I don't wake up before a second before 12 o'clock. Y'all know this. You know what I mean? So, and I use it throughout the day. It'll be 3 now. Who the fuck is paging me now? So it's crazy that one bar has become, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who says, you know what I mean? Who says that? So, again, I figured I'd leave Big. And I'm just letting people know, the only reason why Big isn't on my list because I knew he was going to garner enough attention today from everybody else from that. Trey, what do you think about Warning?
Oh, I mean that's shit. That's classic. That's one of the for me. That's one of the classic opening lines. Who the fuck is this? You can stop right there.
Right.
Oh man, that's Ev. You know what I'm talking about. That's classic. That's classic.
I feel like with that track too, man. He Big should have did movies because he has a way of just embodying the character. Like when he starts that round, I'm already there. I'm in the crib. I'm damn near in the bed with him. Like, what the fuck? Why am I here? He just has a way of really like embodying characters, man. I would love to see that do some film shit. But
you're right. Like, what's beef? Like when Big says a story, it pulls you into it. Like you become part of that story. You know what I mean? Which is, and then on top of that, the video was bananas too. The video just went perfectly with it. So yeah, Big is crazy. Ray, what you got up for your first joint?
Well, I wanted to say real quick about the Big thing. When he said, Frank, pay attention, these motherfuckers is henchmen. Just as an honorable mention, I know it's the middle of the song, but that to me embodied Big's whole like thought process. Speaking of a movie, yo, it took me years later for my man to tell me, yo, he's telling a story and a guy is trying to remind him. He's interrupting him like, yo, that's a story. And I'm like, holy shit, that guy was, I get sad every time I think of Big because of what we lost. And he really didn't want a part of that stuff, that whole beef or whatever. But I don't want to veer off. The line that I had was Jay-Z, the Inspired by Basket, my chariot's on fire, everybody take shots, hit my body up, I'm tired. B reminded me of that today with the post that he had because he looks like Basquiat nowadays. And that whole freestyle is like, he basically did exactly what he said. And he was talking about what he was going through, like, you got me fighting ghosts. And it was true. But he's the one who challenged himself every time. Who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas? If I ain't better than Big, I'm the closest one. Y'all got me fighting ghosts. So he's kind of like walking the same path as his fans. He was always very introspective. And even with that, even within these just multi-layered lines, I was just always so impressed by, obviously anybody should be impressed by Jay-Z, but it was just like definitely, especially now with the deal he just struck with Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, like the corporate takeover is there. We've seen it happen in fruition in real time.
Right. Real quick, I don't know if y'all know me, I always got something laying around the crib that's hip hop. I don't know if I ever showed y'all this 10 Crack Commandments comic strip that this guy had, and it literally goes into the whole 10 Crack Commandments of everything.
That's ill.
You know what I mean? So, but just again, just big storytelling. You know what I mean? Ev, what you got, good brother?
All right. Question for this: is this the way that the song? Because what about a crew track? Do I have to go through the beginning of that track or the beginning of the person's verse?
Whatever you want. There's some songs that I have where there are two people, and I'm looking at each one of the way each one set it off.
I'm gonna add another one.
All right, so this one, then I'm going to talk about Guillotine Swords on Raekwon's on the Purple Tape joint, of course. I'm a big Jizza fan. Jizza ends this track, but his verse is so superb. It's like, it's ridiculous. So he starts the shit in these 2 bars. He has like 2 or 3 double entendres. So he goes, the nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown when my hands grip the chrome microphone. Oh my God. It just, to me, just like the way he plays on words. You done already flipped mad twice.
Ev, could you please, for the congregation, please.
Yes, brother. Yes,
For the people in the cheap seats, please say it one more time.
The nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown when my hands grip the chrome microphone. Because you can go here for a second, and then it's like, oh no, he's talking about. Oh, okay, all right. But I feel like Jizza, he does, and I could keep going through this verse because this is one of my favorite Jizza verses. But I know you ain't asked for the whole verse. You just wanted to get.
Yo, here's the thing, bro. You're on the West Coast. We don't get you on in live times. We got Trey here.
I'm gonna go just a little bit.
You know what my thing was. Like I said, for Apartment 5B this year, one of my goals is I want to be more teachable moments. So I don't want people to just be like, yo, how you set off a rhyme? Like, that's why I got two MCs here to help explain. I want people to walk away from this with a better understanding on why it's important, why it's important, and maybe even a little, a couple of tools to put in their toolbox on how to set off a rhyme. So go into the verse.
I'll just talk on this just for a quick second. I'm not gonna take too much time up, but the fact that you start the verse with the nigga don't get mad. So you on a crew track, it's a Wu-Tang track, and you at the end. It's gonna be enough aggression all throughout that actual song. You get to your verse and you goes, the nigga don't get mad. I got mad styles of my own, and it's shown when my hands grip the chrome microphone. Verbally, I catch bodies with cordless shotties. Intriguing MCs, I keep them trained like potties. I bomb facts. My swords is an axe to split backs. Visible like dope fiend tracks. Sky's the limit. Niggas are timid, and nobody know how we move like wolf and shit clothes. Microchips and software, underground and off air. The land of the lost. Cracking niggas with a Mason Dixon line cross. And I'm gonna stop there. I'm not gonna say too much. Everybody that's listening, you just gotta go do the knowledge, study that track. There's so much going on in there. It's a beautiful verse. I love the way he starts it. I love the fact that he's at the very end of the song and he goes into it the way that he does. But that's the Jizza. Jizza the genius.
Yes.
All right. No doubt. You know that second Wu season coming to Hulu, right? They're gonna be talking about the making of the 36. Yeah, so that should be dope. Vern, what you got, good brother, out the ATL?
Yes, sir. So this is one of the best voices ever in hip hop. Bless his soul. It wasn't like doing pyrotechnic gymnastic flips, but ecstasy was bopping on this song, man. Discos don't open to after dark, and it ain't until 12 till the party really starts.
I ain't even have to be home by 10, right before the phone was about to begin. This dude done froze. He done froze in the middle of the rhyme. He done froze in the middle of the rhyme. But until he comes back, I can talk about how The Freaks Come Out at Night was one of the craziest songs that you could imagine. In what was that, 85? Like, The Freaks Come Out at Night would set off any party. My pop ain't even like hip hop, and he liked The Freaks Come Out at Night. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, bro, you got frozen, so we was keeping the round going for you for a minute.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean,
wait, is Trey frozen?
Yeah, Trey.
No, Trey messing around. He ain't frozen.
I'm looking at the corner of my eye like, nah, he ain't frozen.
No, a lot of commitment.
A lot of the MCs that are going to be named tonight are going to be some very technical, flips and entendres and stuff. It was just straightforward, but it's so dope. I mean, he rolled that mug like a jazz drummer just in the pocket, man. And actually had that je ne sais quoi, that thing about him, man. And his voice is so dope, so booming, so clear, man. So I had to pay some homage to him on this one.
No doubt. R.I.P. Ecstasy, you know what I mean? Legendary group Houdini, so definitely dope. Shout for that. Trey, who you got for your first one, good brother?
Man. Himself.
Nah.
We gotta get into his stuff later, because I know he's not gonna name, so I already got some stuff off to the side to ask him about. So
I'm not even gonna mention the name. I'm gonna just come right in with the verse. Yes, the rhythm, the rebel, without a pause. I'm lowering my level. Hard rhyme, where you never been, I'm in. You want styling? You know it's time again.
It is.
Come on, man. Do I even have to explain that?
If you got to explain it, hey man, you got to go back to some remedial classes.
Right.
That is the beauty. Okay, so we're going back to the bare bones of the opening line. It's the voice. Mm-hmm. It's the conviction. Mm-hmm. He did it with one word. Mm-hmm. Yes. Come on, man. That's such.
Yo, I love.
That's the power, and then it's just the power of that track, man. Nobody else could have done that like that.
I love that you said that, Trey, because I was just thinking about Nature today, and they always spoke about how Nature was like an underrated rapper, and it's mostly because you could, and he's like probably not gonna be spoken of ever again, like that, but his voice was so distinct. He was nice, but it's his voice that stood out.
That's right.
Like it's your voice that makes you. That's your DNA on a record. So
That's right.
You're right. You're right about
Chuck
that.
D, man, one of the greatest voices of all time.
I have to give it to Chuck, man, because I don't know if because Chuck was older than a lot of MCs during that time, but he really understood that master of ceremony.
Yep.
He knew how to like come in the very beginning and just grab your attention. Like, this is what it is. This is where we at. And I'm going to take you down this road.
That's right.
Chuck is he's just amazing with that. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if he got a preacher in his family. I'm not sure where it came from, but he definitely mastered that.
Hey, you think it had a lot to do with him having the radio show in college and understanding how to?
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
I see that.
I'm sure.
I mean, the funniest thing about Chuck is that he ain't even want the record deal. Rick was bugging him like, yo, come on, sign this record deal. And Chuck was like, nah, like, you know what I mean? So it's like he ain't even want to do Public Enemy and all of that. And I mean, you literally could go into Bring the Noise. You could literally go into I got a letter from the government the other day. Like, I mean,
this topic right here is fit for Chuck D.
Yes, it is.
If we're talking about setting verses off and capturing a moment from the outset, this is fit for him.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about Takes a Nation, that's 87, 88. I'm 14. I don't know anything about the government. I'm not really pro-black in anything yet. But when he sets it off with I got a letter from the government the other day, I opened and read it. They said they were suckers. You know what I mean? It's like, man, what are you talking about? Like you said, like he gets you and he pulls you in. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely feel you on Chuck D. We could have him here for a lot of stuff. The first joint I got, yo, I didn't even know if this shit was real, and it's so ironic. You lack the minerals and vitamins, irons and niacin. Fuck who that I defend. Rapper, sit back. I'm about to begin. That right there. When I heard OC come in with that from the door, I mean, because you hear in the track and you're like, yo, this track hard as hell. Like, and then it's like the little dun 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 dun, and then he just comes in with the you lack the minerals and vitamins and the niacin. I didn't even know niacin was real. I got high cholesterol. I take niacin every night now. So it's so ironic to me that it's like, you know, I didn't even think this was real. I thought he was just making up words. I'm like, here go another rapper making up words, you know, but the shit just sounded incredible. Again, one of the dopest albums, Word Life. If you have not heard OC's debut album, Word Life, produced all by Buck Wild, Digging in the Crates, one of the dopest slept on producers. That was it for me. Trey, Ev, I saw you both get excited. What was it about that joint that did it for y'all at the time? Or can you remember when you first heard OC's Time's Up?
I'll let you go, Ev.
Look, I do remember when I first heard OC Time's Up. The verse itself, of course, is already the fact that the beat was so hard.
Ooh, but the beat was so hard. Oh.
His intro was even harder than the beat. How do you do that? That was one thing. But another thing I gotta say about OC, man, we did that show with OC. I forget how many years ago that was, maybe 3 or 4, I'm not sure. And one thing I remember what he said, he was like, "Yo, man, I'm just getting to where I want to be." And I think that just shows so much study and dedication to the craft of MC. I really got to tip my hat to him because I appreciate the fact that it's, you know, he's still, even with all he's already done, even having that kind of a track, he's still studying, still trying to get better. But that joint, man, it leaves me speechless because it's one of my favorite albums. OC is one of, you know, he's one of my favorite MCs. And it's just, you know, the cat is just, he's just nasty. I'm gonna pass it to you, Trey. I'll let you take, because I don't even know what to say, man. Just go.
And Trey, before I go to you real quick, and this is another song that I felt like he ended it perfect. You know, the more emotion I put into it, the harder I rock. Those who post lyrical but really ain't true, I feel their time limited. Hard rock's true. That slick Rick part right there when the beat drops, and then as soon as Rick is done, the beat comes back in. That's like some genius shit. So it's not just always about how you set the rhyme off; it's also how you kind of end your 16 bars. I'm sorry, Trey. What were you gonna say about OC's Time's Up?
No. I mean, you hit it on the head. There's the beginning, there's the middle, and there's the end. You know what I'm saying? You gotta open it right and you gotta close it right. But going back to the beginning, it reminded me, and I make no bones about it. Every time I talk about MCing and where I started my humble beginnings and why I really wanted the MC, it started with Mel, but then it also started with Tila Rock. when he came with commentating, illustrating, description giving. So going to you lack the minerals and vitamins, irons and the niacin. What the fuck?
That's like this.
You ain't got that. No, you ain't got that either. No.
Yo, when that nigga said "fuck crew that I offend," sit back, about to begin. And this is the first time you're hearing this nigga. Like, that's the other thing too. This is you don't even know who this is.
But that's exactly how I felt when I heard the Tila Rock joint. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this nigga, the minerals and the vitamins. What the fuck are you? What are you talking about? Irons in the niacin, nigga. Are you dissing me? Is that what you're saying? Is that a diss? I didn't know how to, you know what I mean? I didn't know how to.
So,
I don't know all these words you using right now, so I'm gonna take it like it's
right now.
But I'm offended. And he comes right back with "fuck who did I offend?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing I just thought about is almost, and I don't know how cats do it now, but you know, back in the 80s and in the early 90s, you trying to get a girl's number, and if you talking to a fly joint, she's been getting cracked on all day. It's just, do you have the game to get through to her? You see what I'm saying? And that's how it was in the 90s, because everybody was dope. You go back to 93, 94, everybody was dope. Even if you was trends and culture, off and on was the shit. You know what I mean? Like, everything was dope. So it's like,
all of them. Yep.
Right, how are you gonna grab my attention, you being a new MC? Ain't nobody know who OC was, you know, but then you hit them with that, and it's like, like, you got through. You was the one dude who was cracking on the joint all day. You know, she hearing all this game, but you was the one dude who like kicked something that was so different that she was like, hold on, let me see what this nigga talking over here. You know, so that's a way to look at how important it is how to set off your rhyme, because especially now, but when me and Ed was at Morgan in 92, 93, you know, you got a dorm, maybe 5 or 6 dudes rhyme in the dorm, maybe the whole campus, maybe 20 MCs. There's probably 100 niggas in one dorm rhyming at Howard right now. You know what I mean? Like, everybody rap. You know, so I'm always telling people who ask me about their music, I'm like, why should I listen to your shit? Like, nigga, like, everybody rap. You know, so definitely with OC. Porsche, you got for another joint?
Okay, this one's a little left, and I know it's going to be really weird for me to mention it, but I have to. Like, I hated Pac for this. I hated Pac for so long for this, but I have to. Like, I would be, remiss to not mention this. Hit 'em up.
That's
Hit 'em up just starts off like I remember when Hit 'em up dropped, because I refused to let anyone play it in any vehicle that I was in at any given time. And I never expected any rapper to come out and say so unfiltered, so crude, and so like aggressively on wax what Pac was saying. And he starts it off by saying, I'm not going to say the actual words, but it's like, you overweight mofo. And you guys know the lyric, but anyways, and then I'm thinking, like, now what is he going to start it with? And then he's like, first off, I F your B, and like, and then he goes on and on.
Little farm filth.
Little farm filth.
Yeah,
you might as well go all the way with it, Portia. You might as well go all the way.
Portia ain't bad enough. If enough people piss her off on Twitter, she'll start cursing. But I think it was a mild day today.
Okay, got it.
But anyway, so for me, like, that one, it's like, I remember not wanting to hear it, but at the same time wanting to hear what he had to say, because it was just so aggressive, and it was so, like, it just demanded your attention from jump. So I have to say Hit 'em Up, as much as I don't really love that song, but I do have to say that Pac just started that off like probably one of the best ways to address a diss track ever. You know, with everything that had happened and the background that he was dealing with and the feud and all of that stuff. And then I'm just going to throw in another one, Outkast Players Ball. I love that song, you guys. I always mention it. You guys know I love it. I absolutely love that this is like a Christmas song, and it starts off with, it's beginning to look a lot like what? And I just, because a lot of, if you're familiar with the Christmas, like, story. You know that it's going to continue on in a way, but then it's changed. And I really like that because it makes you sort of double back. Like, wait, he didn't say it what it's supposed to be, because it prompts you almost. So Players Ball, love the way it starts off.
All right, no doubt. B, what you got up next?
Oh man, damn, Portia, I'm from Brooklyn. I know Jr. Yo, listen, when Hit 'Em Up came out, no one in Brooklyn wanted to play that record, man. But we felt it. The feeling of that record is still, and
it stings.
Like, we felt like spitting on the face. Like, things, man. Like, and I love Pac. I mean, we all love Pac. I love Big, but man, Brooklyn. We took a L with that, man. I mean, it was.
Yo, the funny thing is, I've never heard the
but,
entire song. I've never listened to the entire song.
What?
Good.
You're good.
I mean, because I rode when I'm so deep into hip hop, like you can tell me and Big was like big brothers. So it was like, yo, you dissing Big? I don't even want to hear that shit. Yo, I only heard the first Pac album when you told me to listen to All Eyes on Me, Porsche, maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yep.
First time I heard the Pac album. Like you dissing my man. I don't want to hear shit you gotta say, my nigga.
And I don't blame you.
I took that shit personal. I was like, fuck Pac. So I just heard All Eyes on Me like 2 years ago. So
What?
Yeah, man. I take this rap shit personal, man. You coming at the East Coast, it was like, oh nah, my nigga. Like, wait a second, wasn't you just a nigga on Vibe crying about Thug Life is dead with some goddamn glasses on? Now next time I see you fucking niggas, why? Nah, you need more people. I don't believe you, my nigga. I don't believe you. You need more people. I got the Vibe article where he was like, Thug Life is dead and I want to make a new life. And I mean, I get it now that I'm older. This nigga's locked up. Sugar's going to get you. So I get it now that I'm older. But I mean, at the time, I'm 20, in college, like, nah, man, that's whack. But neither here nor there. What you got, B?
Yo, one of my all-time favorite verses, man. The way this MC set this verse off. It was on Wu-Tang Forever. So good. Face
you froze, B.
Oh shit! Y'all hear me?
Yeah. You gotta set it off again.
Oh man!
Oh, there you go.
Ghostface verse on it. They had to put it on Supreme Clientele. The way Ghost goes into that, like, you want to talk about storytelling? The way he sets that up and the way he ends that verse. Call the ambulance, James been shot. Word to Kimmy, word to God, son. Yo, you a motherfucking heart. Like, the way you hear the passion in Ghost's voice. I don't even know if that story was real, but it felt like it was real. And it grabbed you right then and there. And the way he ended it, and B, from you who the leads, like, yo, that's your man. Like, yo, we from the dirt. Like, the way he broke that.
Yeah, yo,
he broke up. What song did he say? B, what song did you
Impossible.
say? Oh, okay.
Impossible.
Okay.
Impossible.
All right.
The way Ghostface entered. What was the song? Was on Raekwon's album or Village Niggas Get Smacked in Manhattan for rapping. Big Ghost step off laughing.
Wait, is that Gracious Ice?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Ghost kills everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in that era. Like in that era. And that's what I'm trying to show that. It's like, it was that era of MCing where it was what you had to do. It's kind of like, I know English teachers don't teach introduction, body, conclusion anymore. Like, they're not doing that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was a lost, that's why I'm like, it's a lost art. If you read some of my kids' papers, they just writing stuff. There's no, this is what I want to talk about and then conclude. There's nothing. It's just
they don't do outlines. They don't do outlines no more.
Yeah, like they don't do outlines. So it's just like you just writing, and it shows in our kids' schoolwork, and it shows in our MCs rhymes. You know what I mean? So
you gotta remember with Ghostface too. Like, that was a fairly new style. Like, it wasn't too many people had that when he came out with that style. Nobody really.
That's a fact.
That kind of cadence, his delivery, his train of thought. I think the closest that you can come would be, this is kind of a far-fetched, maybe like Kool Keith, but Ghost was definitely more like in line in a certain kind of way.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
He just really had a whole like platform to really play off of, and I think he just did some amazing shit during that time.
My God, cool Keith, man. You about to make me look up some more shit. JR, what you got for yours, man?
All right. I'm gonna go with Fife's verse on Electric Relaxation. And the reason why I go there is because, first of all, the first single was a war tour. So I didn't even know Electric Relaxation until you heard the album. So when he comes in is like, I like him brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. My name is Fife Dog from the Zulu Nation. Told you in the jam that we can get down. I was like, wait a minute, didn't we just hear we can get down? So that got me like that, because I was like, yo, the way he did that, and it wasn't a single yet. So for that verse, I will always remember that. You know what I mean? And I just, it takes me back to when my pops we were first listening to it, and he was like, yo, this shit's crazy. Like, yo, he was going nuts. So that verse always gets me, because he come in and my dad was like, you see how he introduced himself, and then he told you about a joint that just finished playing. So I go to that.
You know what I love about your parents, JR? The fact that you learned so much from them. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a challenge I put out. I'd be like, I text one of my people, like, yo, what you teach your kid about hip hop this week? Like, what you put them on to? You know what I mean? Because every time hearing you talk for the past 3 years, it's like, yo, my mom's was playing this. My mom's was in the soul. My pop was in the hip hop. My pop was playing this. My mom's was playing this. And you were just eating that up.
And he wasn't a talker. So it was like my pops wasn't really a talker like that. So when it came to hip hop, that's when he spoke. So for me, that was kind of like how we kind of bonded a little bit. So just to see him going crazy off Tribe, it was like, oh, all right, let me listen to these lyrics. And when he did, you know what I'm saying? And definitely after buying it off of Fulton Street, you know what I'm saying? Going down Atlantic Avenue, it's cold as hell. You know what I'm saying? And he blasting this joint, and this is November, and he blasting this joint, and the windows down. I'm like, maybe I should pay attention, because we cold as hell in here. And he like, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why I will always remember that verse, because he was like, you see that? You see how Fife introduced himself? And he'll go in like that. And I'm like, yo, you ain't talking like for the past hour. We just got this, and you speaking like it's crazy to me. So yeah, so this joint right here.
That's dope. Trey, Ev, thoughts on Fife setting off Electric Relaxation?
I think that particular album was, I'll say this. I wasn't crazy on Fife on the first joint on Distinctive Travels. I think he definitely came through on Low End Theory. I think he perfected himself on Midnight Marauders. And I just feel like Fife, man, he's that MC that you kind of like, not necessarily one of my favorites, but at the same point in time, I just have a lot of respect for Fife. Because when Fife commit to it, Fife commit to it. And then one thing I do like about Fife is the way when he commits, you in it. And it's not, he never had it. The thing I like about Fife too, he didn't have to like create a facade. You know what I'm saying? He never created a facade. It was always like, yo, I like him brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, Haitian. Like, yo, I served this dude off of orange juice. You know what I'm saying? It's like just to have that kind of thing and to be so real with yourself first. Because again, we're talking about in the 90s when everybody had, you had to almost create this kind of caricature of yourself. And they still do it now. But you had to kind of do this, and a lot of people were actually assuming that role. And the fact that Fife did the complete opposite of that, and still had, a huge following, a huge fan base. So I'm always going to be a Fife fan and respect him, just off of that, off rip.
Vern, you were about to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that as I got older, and when I was younger, it was always, which one is my favorite, blah, blah, blah. But as I got older, I understood more how important the group dynamics were. Like, Tip was my favorite, but without Fife, you lose that balance. Like Little Brother, Monte is my favorite MC, and people don't talk about Pooh. But
don't sleep on Pooh.
I know, but it's that counterbalance that you need in a group. And even, did I freeze? Okay,
no, you out.
Okay, so like Goody Mob, you have CeeLo fans, you have Gip fans. But as I got older, I'm like, okay, I see what Timo and Cujo bring to the mix, and it all comes together in a great, combination. So you made me think of that when you said that, Ev.
All right, no doubt. Trey, any thoughts on Fife?
Oh no, man. I tell people all the time, Tip definitely brought the production and that value to the group, which is what it stands on. But to me, Fife had the better lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had the more memorable lyrics. And Fife made it plain. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I like him brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. And and he had little catchy, similes here and there, like busting none of your couch, now you got Siemens furniture. You know what I mean? He was funny. He was funny, but he was witty. But he made it plain. And to me, he had the more memorable lyrics in Tribe. To me,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right, no doubt. Ray, who you got up next, good brother?
Well, it's funny because he just took the Fife Dog line that I wanted, because and I was saying the same. I was gonna say the same thing Tracy Lee said. I just remember being in middle school, and everyone will argue. They bring up Q-Tip, and you bring up Fife Dog, and I really didn't know like that. But when the Fife Dog reaction is like, exactly, Fife Dog's the man, I had to go back and listen to it, and it was, to me personally, he was the rhymer, he was the MC, the rapper. Tribe. I thought he was the one that pulled you in with those. Just, you got to be witty. Not necessarily the voice. He did have his own distinct sound, but it was the wit. He was just witty. And Porsche brought up Pac, so that was one of my lines, and y'all built it up already where he was going through all the drama. Shot 2 cops. He got shots, trying to get robbed. He shouts out, he says "fuck Big," "fuck Puff" in the magazine, and then it builds up. Shook gets him out of jail. Shook was beefing with Puff, and then we press play to All Eyes on Me, and the first thing you hear is, "I won't deny it. I'm a straight rider. You don't want to fuck with." It was like,
that shit was all.
And it just set the yo, the beat drops, then you hear the girl singing, and the first thing he says is, "So many battlefield scars while driven in plush cars, and life is a rap star, is nothing without God." And now you in the zone. Now this is an action-packed gangster superstar. Just now, regardless of what your opinion is, he went, and it sounds nothing like Tupacalypse now. This is not me against the world. This is a new Tupac, and we were all bought in. So I'm from New York, you're from Queens, and it was that rivalry there, but at the same time, it was like, yo, they're both dope. And it always pointed to me, like, I understand the whole, he's not Big when Big is dancing on records. And Big's voice like a jazz musician, like, you just can't, I never understood why anyone would choose. I'm like, I'm bumping both. You know what I'm saying? But Pac was my favorite, by the way, obviously. But that first line embodied who he was at that time, the conflict of, God, bringing up God, and then so many battlefield scars, and then in the middle of that, he sandwiched in, I'm driven in plush cars, and life is a rap star, like some material bullshit, but he brought the deepness with, battlefield scars and God. To me, that was like, it spoke to who he was at that moment, especially at that moment.
Mm-hmm. The dope thing about that is, even when Porsche made me listen to All Eyes on Me, like, that shit bangs. You know what I mean? Like, just the way you said how it came in, like, for somebody just hearing it for the first time in 2018, it still was like, ooh, this shit hard. You know what I mean? And it's one of the things that I've had to grow out of. I did the same thing. I didn't really enjoy seeing Kobe play because I hated him so much. You know what I mean? I ain't watched the Lakers play. Whereas now it's like, I made a mistake. Just because I don't fuck with somebody don't mean you can't still, relish them with the greatness that they do. You know what I mean? So I'm trying not to make that mistake with Brian. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what I started when I started liking Kobe? When y'all booed him. When he got booed in Philadelphia at the All-Star game, I was like, I was like, yo, Philly is the worst. Like, this guy's busting out there.
Because you know why, Brian? He's not from Philly. He's from Lower Marion. Like,
I get it.
It's the same thing with DC. When Kevin Durant be like, DC niggas be like, yo, even though he may be the best player in the world, it's like, fuck that. That nigga is not from DC, from St. Pleasant, Maryland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
County, yeah.
They even did a Philadelphia issue of a magazine and put Kobe on the front, like ease the tension, and it was the worst selling issue in history of Kobe on the front. So yeah, we don't fuck around at the crib at all. What you got?
I'm sorry, to be fair.
No, what you gonna say?
Kobe wasn't like that first. And then it took a while for us to really appreciate him. Like, yo, he's the only one that gives a fuck out there.
Yeah.
Like, I love Iverson, but he didn't care like Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Right. After that, you have to.
And Iverson will tell you that. And Iverson will tell you that.
I always would joke like, yo, these two niggas pass each other every day. Iverson coming home from the club at 5 a.m, and Kobe going to the gym at 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So, you know, in the Mamba mentality, I always tell people if 30% of the league had half of his Mamba mentality, the basketball we would be seeing would just be bananas. You know what I mean? So definitely. Ev, what you got up next for you, good brother?
My next one, I'm gonna go to the guy Rakim. I'm gonna work off Know the Ledge. It's just the beginning. Sip the juice. I got enough to go around. Now I'm done there. At that point, I'm done because if I got an issue with somebody and they say I got enough to go around, I'm like, I probably won't fuck with you. Nah, I think I'm gonna go back here. I think that was just an ill way to start a verse, man. Sip the juice. I got enough to go around. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Ain't no more else to say.
Yeah.
Rock it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Bravo.
I feel you. Bird, what you got, Bird?
That's a real cocky ass line.
That's a cocky line.
Very cocky.
Cocky line, yo.
Here's another homage to somebody who wasn't doing pyrotechnics, but you remember it to this day. Hot damn ho, here we go again.
Enough said.
I'm loving this, man.
Said it off. Yeah.
When you need an introduction, you know what I'm saying? You know exactly what it is. You know what I mean?
That's all I got, man. It ain't no need for no soliloquy and syllabus.
And thank you for breaking that down, Vern, as MC Light, because you know Little Kim set her rhyme off with that. So
right.
There's gonna be somebody out there who's younger. We got younger viewers, so I thank you for explaining that's MC Light, 10% this up against Antoinette back in '89. So that was the origin of the line. You know what I mean? So that goes back to the whole Bite and Pay homage show. Huh?
Didn't somebody write that for her? If I'm not mistaken.
Light? I don't think so. The only thing I know about Light being written for in the beginning was the intro of her verse on self-destruction. That's the only thing I've heard about. Because at the time, truth be told, Light may have been one of the nicest people on First Priority. She was nicer than Milk. Paz K was dope. You know what I mean? So she wasn't like she was like around a whole bunch of lyrical gymnasts. You know what I mean? Light, truth be told, if not for positive, I mean, I like Brashawn. The Alliance was cool, but Light was like Light was banging with the big boys, like, back in those days. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that, Burn. That's it right there. Trey, what you got for one of yours?
Again, I love the fact that you don't have to, introduce the person. You just know what it is off the rip when you say the words. Visualizing the realism of life and actuality.
Status. A person's status depends on sex.
My mentality is money. Yo, Trey, the funniest thing about that is I don't know how long it took me to even get the Nas's verse.
Right.
From Life's a Bitch. Because I would almost skip right over. Like, once AZ was done, I was like, all right, song over. Like, it took years to get the Nas's verse because it was just like, and again, just like with OC, this is the first time you're hearing him. You're like, yo, who is AZ?
He burned that record all the way down.
Completely burned, yes.
On last Nas record, he killed it.
Yep.
On the joint with the reunion joint with the firm, right?
Yes. He might have had the best verse. AZ's time, his flow. Oh my God, he has a real, and his delivery on that. That's Life's a Bitch. Hell yeah, it's Life's a Bitch. His delivery, the way his voice, everything was impeccable.
It just cut right through. Like, damn it, off the you know what I mean, visualizing the realism of life and actuality. Like, who the fuck is that ain't Nas? Who the fuck is that?
he rode that. His ride on that verse was impeccable, man. His ride.
And we're keeping in mind that this is recorded in probably 93, because Omatic dropped in 94, probably written and recorded in 93. Like you said, at the pocket, and how he ends it. You know what I mean? Is
keeping
again,
it real, but I can still getting high.
And he's saying so much.
Right.
He's saying so much. You know, a lot of times when people using a lot of rhyming words, they're not always saying a whole lot. He was saying so much in all of that. Yeah, there's so much content there.
Yeah. Definitely one of the dopest. I mean, he got the deal from it. So I'm gonna go with Rakim. I'm starting with It's Been a Long Time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many week shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you. Then we go with
Cocky as hell. I said again, cocky as hell.
But again, I always talk about Rakim is just, yo, I remember hearing my melody for the first time when I stayed in Brooklyn, and it was like, yo, this shit is crazy. He can't get no better than this. Then I hear Eric B. is president. I'm like, yo, he can't get no better than this. Then it's like, you hear I Ain't No Joke, and it's like, fuck, he's getting better. And then you hear I Know You Got Soul, and it was just like, yo, what the fuck? You know, like, how do you keep what? Like, and then again, how he finishes it. You know, I start thinking, then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the lines. I escape. When I finish the rhyme, I got soul. You know what I mean? And you know, just so much. I mean, even, you know, when he ends the second verse, I drip steam like a microphone fiend. Eager to MC is my theme. I get hyped when I hear drum roll. Rakim is on the mic, and you know I got soul. It's like when MCs will put the name of the song right before they're going back into the chorus. You know what I'm saying? And then ending it with, you know, I got soul. That's why I came to teach y'all who can't say my name. First of all, I'm the soloist, soul controller. Rakim gets stronger as I get older. You know what I mean? And then to end it with, you know, light them up, blow them out like candles. Or should I just let them melt? Then give them a hand so you can see how it felt. I'm not bold just because I rock gold. Rakim is on the mic. And you know I got soul. So, I mean, just every verse is set off with, you know, it's almost like a basketball. He's very efficient. You know, he's an efficient MC. You know what I mean? You know what you're going to get from him. The efficiency of that, what he put into one song is some things that MCs don't put into whole albums. You know, and to say like, this was just what I did with just one song. I set every verse off crazy and ended every verse crazy. You know, I was helping Nate with her homework the other day, and it was the question. I said, well, I remember having to be like, if the question is, well, why do you want to go to this college? Like, well, I want to go to Morgan State because, like, you want to be able to be reading the answer and know what the question was, you know? So with that, you know, always bringing you back into, you know, I got soul. I'm bringing you back in so that you know the name of this song. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, I just think it's ingenious. And this is 1987. You know what I mean? Which is just stupid in itself. Porsche, what you got up next, miss?
Okay, I got NWA's F the Police.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I know I say that very softly, whereas like, I was very aggressive with it, but he starts it off with F the Police, not in that way, but F the Police coming straight from the underground. Like, just that whole verse is, and the scratching, like everything about it is just perfect. And I don't think, again, I mean, with the title of the track, you're expecting something, but I don't think we expected it to pop off with the exact line. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Ice Cube's delivery is just, his passion is there, the emotion is there.
Young nigga got it bad because I'm brown.
Yeah. Like just the whole entire verse is just brilliant. It's brilliant. And I love everything about that track. I love that they weren't really allowed to perform it, but they did anyway. Like, I just love that it caused a stir within people, and people were like burning their albums and whatever. Like, I just love it. Everything about it. It's like an anthem. So that one. And I'm gonna add another one in there. Nas is The Message. He starts it off with Fake Thug, No Love. You Got the Slug, CB4 Gusto. I just
so I was drunk.
That track is my favorite Nas track of all time. Like, there's nothing. And in The Message, not in this verse, but in The Message is my favorite quotable in all of music ever, like just ever. If I was gonna get a tattoo, I would get that tattooed on me. So Nas is just Nas, you know, and the way this starts off with the intonation, it's like a scratchiness at the back, like everything is just echoey a little bit. Like I love it. So that one.
You didn't say what your favorite verse is. Your favorite, what you would get tattooed on you.
Oh, a thug changes, a love changes, and best friends become strangers. It's my I quote it all the time. I quote it randomly at work to clients. I'm like talking to me. I'm like, oh my God.
You taking a call like, you know what, bitch? Love changes, okay? Like, let's get this straight. Like, yo.
No, like when people are, you know, small talk and they're talking about life, and I'm like, you know, Nas, you should go listen to this song. Like Nas explains it really well, and it just captures everything, and everyone walks away like kind of nodding, and I'm like, go listen to that song. Yeah.
You know, Porsche, the crazy thing about the Fuck the Police joint, and I don't think I realized it until we did on the show a couple of weeks ago, but you know, at that time, number one, we had never heard nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? Like, Trey, if you are age, you know, it was a curse word here and there. You know, Kane would say, oh shit, or Rakim, I'ma tear shit up. You didn't start no song off with Fuck the Police. You know what I mean? Like, you just didn't do that. And again, this is Eazy's label. You know what I mean? Like, this is his shit. So you don't have anybody telling you what you can and can't do. You know what I mean? So I think that was what was so amazing too about Fuck the Police, because I remember being in Philly, Trey, and I don't know how it was for you, but it was like, yo, who these Jerry Curl niggas? Like, I ain't listening to this shit. Like, these niggas got Jerry Curl. Like, you know, but then when it was like Fuck the Police and you heard all of that, and then when you heard Coming Straight Out of Compton, a crazy motherfucking name, Ice Cube, like everything was, it was almost like shock value, but it wasn't shock value because it was dope. You know what I mean? So
I was they definitely bought something different, but I think not who they directed it to, and who they were talking about was shock value for me. But I think I was set up by the language from Schoolie D. Schoolie D set me up for hearing certain things, but how they directed it to a certain entity, that was like, yo, can they get away with that shit? Like, how are they getting away with this shit?
And that's exactly it. Is how can they, like, I remember.
Can you say that?
Yeah, like being in cars and people would like blast that, and then when the cops were beside you, you'd like turn it a little bit down because you didn't want to like, you know, like, start anything. But mind you, like Canadian cops are not like American cops, but still, you just didn't want to go there.
Yo, with y'all being from Philly, because that's before my time really. But with y'all being from Philly, how big was Schoolie D out there? Because he's the architect of gangster rap.
Schoolie D was it, bro. Like, that was, that's like, if you from Queens, like, how big is Run DMC? How big is LL? You know what I mean? If you from Brooklyn, how big is Kane? You know, like, Schoolie was everything. That was the first, that was before Steady. That was before Jeff and Will. That was, you know, Schoolie was it, man. Like,
and he gave us a perspective again, because everything was pretty much, you know, kind of neat and clean. Not necessarily neat, but you know, it was more party and all this. You know, this motherfucker, he gave us the message, but from a gutter perspective. Like, the message was, you know, was more. It was painted, you know, in an eloquent picture. You know what I'm saying? This shit was on some. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. I see this shit with that person going on around my way. Like, it was just gutter. It was so gutter, and it was different. You know what I mean? And the beats were hard, so you kind of you still was rocking to it. You know, you hear the PSK beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but the shit he talking about, Parkside Killers, that shit was going down.
I mean, all that shit. PSK, Gucci Time, Saturday Night, like it was just one of the reasons I love King of New York.
Getting drunk, all that shit. You wasn't hearing that shit on records.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I love King of New York so much was because Schoolie's the whole damn soundtrack almost. When you watch King of New York, like it's Schoolie D all day. My bad, Ev. What were you saying?
I was just saying the way he spit it, man. It was like, it was so nonchalant, like PSK,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying with that. It's like so you watching somebody uncle on the steps, and they got a Newport, and they just smoking, just talking shit to you.
That's that Philly shit.
It's so piercing. He's not saying it aggressively at all.
Right. It's that mid '80s Philly You know what I mean? Like flavor, like that style, like that's what it was. Like we wasn't. This is pre, Bean State Prop and what that represented Philly as. We was the gangster gentleman niggas back then. You know what I'm saying? Like we be clean cut and stab you in the neck. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit.
With some wingtips on.
Word.
Right?
We was
Yo,
gangster
Phil,
gentlemen. You know what I mean?
there was like a 10-year, 15-year anniversary DVD of King of New York, and they had an interview with Schoolie D, and it was ill.
Yeah. I mean, because that's one of the reasons I love King of New York. I mean, I love it regardless, because I mean, it's just one of the dopest movies ever. But Schoolie just being in there with, with PSK and Gucci time, like, I mean, it just makes the movie that much doper to me, man. That much doper. Vern, you about to say something, man?
No.
All right. B, what you got up next?
Oh man, am I breaking up?
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, I gotta go back to the other message, the original message.
Okay.
Mel.
Respect.
That's Vert.
Yeah.
Born with no mind, blind to the ways of mankind. Yo,
listen, too.
I'm 30.
God knows what people.
I'm 33. I'm 37. Like my mom, my pops, they played that record heavy when I was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew those lyrics when I was like maybe 5 years old, and we recited it in the house. And the impact of that verse, that's probably, I don't know, that's probably the start of the conscious rap. Like, just no one was talking like that. As far as I know, like Mel laid it out for you. Like that whole song is domestic. It's basically like Scared Straight or Wax.
Right. And
he was just letting you know how it was in the hood. And he was the hood journalist, and he was letting you know the conditions that we in. He was putting cats on. Like he was basically talking to the young bloods, like, yo, young blood, like, yo, take heed, and yo, you gonna go to jail. You gonna go through some shit. And that's one of my favorite all-time records. Number one favorite hip-hop record of all time. The way he delivered that, it still resonates.
Yeah, that's poetry, man.
Incredible.
Big, great choice.
Yeah, that's
great
one of the best. That's like poetry right there.
Yeah, I mean, even to the chorus, like, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I don't feel that way right now. Like, give me one more Zoom meeting today. Somebody getting cursed the fuck out. Like, I'm right on the edge. Like, let me get one more Zoom meeting request. And I don't know if I'm going to have a job tomorrow because we all on the edge. So, like you said, a song that dropped in 81, 82 is still prevalent now in 2021. You know what I mean? Like, that's incredible, man.
Great choice.
Yeah, great choice, B. JR, what you got?
Unbelievable from Big.
Nice.
How you started off the livest one, representing BK to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? So for me, we moved. We was in South Carolina during this time. So when we brought Ready to Die, it was like that gave us our Brooklyn feel that we needed. You know what I mean? Like the way he was rhyming it, and then it gave me that R&B thing because he used, Premier used the drums from Impeach the President. So you knew that. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? So I was getting my soul in it, and then I was getting the hip hop in it. And it was giving me my Brooklyn vibe that I was missing. You know what I'm saying? So just him rhyming like that was just crazy to me.
Yeah, that's Trey. Can you speak on Big's Unbelievable?
I mean, no. Because there's nothing to be. I mean, that shit. These are the things again. When you just say the first syllable, you know what I'm saying? Like from Bedford, Stuyvesant. Like you talk about an efficient rapper, man. I say I'm on record as saying this. Big is the most efficient rapper of all time.
Tracy Lee, you are amazing. Every time it's like angels talking. Like I can listen to this Biggie praise all day.
I mean, listen, but it's true.
I know that. You gotta touch all these people telling me Big sucks.
I mean, from the way he cuts his syllables, the way he bounces inside a beat, he's considered one of the best on many people's top 10, top 5.
Yes.
Off of 2 albums. Like
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And listen, when you start getting into these arguments, what I'm saying, when you start getting into these arguments, they always make an excuse for Big, like because when you start talking about longevity and how many joints you drop, well, what about Big? Oh no, he don't count. He died. You know what I'm saying? But anybody else, they'd be like, no, you can't count. He only made 2 albums. Big has a special place in everybody's heart because of how dope that dude is. He was a special guy. He was just a special guy. So live from Bedford Stuyvesant, live is represent BK to the fullest. Gats, I pull it. Come on, man, that shit is crazy.
That's fucking.
Now,
God.
Come on, ain't nothing. Oh God. Oh.
What'd you say, Al?
There's one thing about Big I just got to throw in there. To be a big dude, but never have any breath control issues.
Right.
You never heard him like
that's real.
Word. He didn't have breath. He had his breath control.
You know why though, Ed? Because that's a part of his genius. Because of the words that he picked and how he used the syllable. Yes.
Yep.
That's a part of it. He knew that. He's like, I can't do this rapidy rap shit. Like, I'm too big for that shit. But you know what? I'm gonna choose one word that y'all niggas gotta say in 10 words. You see what I'm saying? To get the point across.
And this is the perfect time to mention that by the time this episode goes live for everyone to watch, Big's documentary on Netflix will have dropped. So I hope everybody watches it. I'm
watching that joint.
Yes, and people are like adding me like, Portia, seriously, every day you're going to remind us? Yes, every day I will remind you, and I will remind you when it drops to watch it if you haven't. So,
well, you know what, Portia? I'm glad you reminded that because I totally forgot. Apartment 5B is sponsored by What's the Scenario. So you can grab your hip-hop game of What's the Scenario at SoWhatGames.com. Grab this joint. Next week, we're going to be playing this live. So
and here's the other thing about this game. So many people on our TLs have copped it. And the creators of it have said that they're coming up with a way that we can play it remotely. So this is going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be dope as hell.
So we're actually doing this next week, Porsche. I'm sorry you're not going to be here. I know you out for the next 2 weeks. But
I need the link, man, so I can get that.
I'll be here next week. It's the weeks after that.
Oh, it's the weeks after. All right.
Yeah, all good.
All right, bet. Yeah, but SoWhatGames.com. So what's the scenario?
And Apartment 5B discount code.
Yeah,
for free shipping.
Yeah, I need the link. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got that. Big. Oh, Trey. Before we go to Ray, real quick, let me ask this. All right. You're in the studio with Big. You're doing Keep Your Hands High. I'm on record for saying you and Jay are the only 2 people. I mean, I know Meth on the what, but I still believe that you went bar to bar with Big, with one of the best ever.
Yeah,
he sets the song off with "Fuck That, I Preach This, My 9 Reaches." Then you come in with your voice, "Oh shit." He comes in with "Fuck That." You come in with "Oh shit." How? Just give us what was your process? Big is in the studio writing. Or not writing, he's just looking. And what are you thinking of how to set this off? You're in the studio with Big, you know.
I was happy that he set it off with that because I already had the old shit like in my mind in the tuck. So as soon as he hit the "fuck that," because this is before we finally figured out how we was going to structure the song. Because I posed to him, I was like, I don't want it to be a situation where, okay, you do your 16, it's a hook, and I do my 16, it's a hook, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be that kind of, like it's a sparring, a sparring match. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we cut the verses up the way we did. So when we finally figured out the format and he started it off with the "fuck that," I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely gonna work as far as the song is concerned, because he leads with his verse with the "fuck that." So I'm like, oh shit, I suppose it's time to go skits. You know what I mean? So it complemented each other so well. But again, I didn't know he was going to lead that off, but when he decided to do it like that, it was a pleasant surprise, and it just made the continuity of the record just that much better. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Dope.
Yeah.
So when y'all were in there, you didn't know what he was doing because this is all instead.
Yeah, because he wrote his rhyme there. You know what I'm saying? I had written. Let me see. I wrote my first 16 beforehand because I had the advantage of having the beat first. You know what I'm saying? Because I picked the beat. I picked the beat and I developed the concept before we even pulled him into the studio. I just knew I wanted to do a song with him, and then I had talked to him about the concept of the song before we actually went in there. I was like, yo, we're gonna rob the industry. You know what I'm saying? Basically, you know what I mean? So, you know, and it was really from a line that he said, you know, he said something about keep your hands high, you know what I mean? In a previous verse. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take that line and we're gonna rob the industry. He was like, all right, bet, you know what I mean? So then I had the advantage of having the beat first. I had already written that first verse, but I hadn't written the rest of it yet. And then I wrote the second verse, my verse, and then the third verse I had written, I didn't use because after he came with that, he did the cheat code, mother son of a. You did the cheat code. He started getting personal and all that. Started talking about Ken's and C's advance and all. That's the cheat shit, you know what I mean? Because everybody knew who you was. Nobody knew who I was, so they could dig into your story a little bit more. So after he did that verse, I was like, man, I'm not. I gotta go back and do something else. And it was only 8 bars, but I went back and did something else just so it could match and complement what he was doing. But you know, but he wrote all of his there. It was like an 8-hour session, just in case y'all didn't know. It was like an 8-hour session, and we sat there with the music in the background. And so, you know, again, he knew what the concept was going to be. He knew he had the beat for a second, you know, before we actually got into the studio, and then the joint was just playing while we was talking. But he had wrote everything there. You know what I'm saying?
And the funny thing about that is when niggas are like, yo, I never heard Keep Your Hands High. I'm like, yo, this may be one of my favorite big verses. Like, I honestly could put this as a top 5 big verse. The way he set off the rings and things you think you sing about, bring them out, like that alone. You know what I mean? I mean, like, yo.
How familiar, Phil?
That line was so dope, it got jacked twice. Come on, man.
Right. Let's say that. I sampled twice.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I got new mouths to feed. I'm due south with keys.
Yeah, see, that's the cheat code shit. That was the cheat code.
I watched Cowboys But again, just to give you your flowers now, good brother, like I always said, I felt like you went bar to bar with him. So, you know, that's something dope to be able to say that.
Noriega needs to retract his statement. I'm still waiting for the official retraction and and apology on that. Just
what?
Put it out there. Noriega, that's right. I'm on a drink champ strike. I'm on a drink champ strike.
Porsche. It's my opinion, Porsche.
No, but to her point, I had just did an interview this week with a cat on his podcast, and I mentioned that, you know, and he was like, you know what? He's like, I know Nori. You know what? Fuck that. I'm keeping this portion of the interview, and I'm going straight to him and be like, yo, you was tripping, dog.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Thank
like,
you.
Because of the fact, it was funny though. But when I said he said it twice, my man was like, yo, that's malicious, man. Nah, fuck that. He was just mad because he couldn't get on the record with him. You know what I mean? I'm taking this bullshit and I'm going to him straight up, man, because this is bullshit. I was
because we've added Noriega so many times on Twitter and he ignores those and responds to other dumb shit, but he ignores those ones. So I'm
real
waiting.
Shit on that one. No interviewing having ass. He shouldn't be interviewing people anyway.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Okay.
But to your point, Kill is his opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opinion. Like, you know, I mean, some people. What you said?
What is the opinion? This is I got a whole Queen's Day.
He said, what did he say, Trey? That you dropped the ball?
He said Big bodied me on the record. Like, but he brought it up. He brought me out of the blue because he was talking to Jadakiss and on Drink Champs, and they were talking about like Big, you know what I'm saying? And so, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the conversation with him, he was like, "But who's that guy that was from Philly? I forget his name. He did his record with Big," and then Jada was like, Tracy Lee, and C said, "Yeah, Tracy Lee." He was like, "Oh yeah, no, he bodied Tracy Lee. Matter of fact, you know, he bodied him so bad, he left the industry. I ain't heard from him since. Like, I retired." Because of that,
That's
I
am sending Noriega right now.
Then Meth comes on about a couple of episodes later, and they talking about collaborations that he did, and then you know he talking about the joint with him and Big, and then here I come again, just out of the blue. But I know Tracy Lee hates me for this, but he bodied Tracy Lee. I'm like, damn, I'm on your mind like that. You know what? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was the issue.
Yeah. And
I can't front. I would have to go back just to listen to the lyrics, to be honest. But flow wise and delivery, I can't. You could outbox somebody on a record and totally outshine them like that, and I can't say that about that record. I mean, Big is Big. Big was in his prime. He was in his pockets. Big, but to say something like that is kind of crazy. Like that's like that. There's no need for that. Yo, I did want to ask if I could. Yo, how did if you can't answer? How did you meet Big? How did you meet him and get to that point? Because it did come out of nowhere. The whole Keep Your Hands High. I was like, who is Tracy Lee? And the record was ill. So how did that come up?
That was a relationship because the cat that I was signed to, Mark Pitts, who's now the president of RCA, that's Big's manager. And to take it a step further, when Mark was trying to sign me or thinking about or contemplating signing me through D-Dot, because D-Dot had bought the demo to Mark, but he would play the demo while Big was in the car. And so Big had heard like all of my early works and was telling Mark, yo, your man is nice. Your man is nice. And so that's where that whole dynamic of, where they got to do a record, I want to do a record with him, or I definitely want to do a record with Big, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, I want to do a record with him. And that's how it happened. So I always tell people, indirectly, Big had, a hand in giving that cosign to Mark to make him feel more comfortable about signing me because he had heard the work before we actually put pen, to sign the contract. You know what I'm saying?
So that in and of itself should tell you that he respected you enough to jump on a record with you, and that you did not get. I mean, you already know this, but I'm talking to everybody else. You did not get bodied. You went blow for blow.
Nori.
And I'll take it a step further, Vern. I'll take it a step further. A lot of people consider, like Kill said, that to be one of Big's best verses of all time. So all you got to do is listen to that verse to tell you how much he respected my skill level.
Thank you.
Because I don't think he comes like that.
Right.
If he didn't at least hear the footsteps, you know what I'm saying?
I sent Glory to Noriega right now on Twitter. So hopefully, I just mentioned that it dropped in 2020. I told him it was a dope album. Check it out, good brother. And I put in some
Don't say good brother though.
I sure did.
And God rest my brother. But another thing he also said, which leads to the competitive nature of being an MC. He told Mark, he said, yo, your man is nice, but he's coming in second this year. See what I'm saying? Like, if you don't consider somebody to be a good MC, you don't even mention, that person. But to say the fact that to even have me in the conversation and say, yo, he's coming in second, meaning I hear him, I hear what he's saying, but what other MCs do to other good MCs is that we drive each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what that shit was about. You know what I mean?
Dope. Ray, what you got up next, good brother?
First of all, I gotta holler at my Queens connections and calm Nori down a little bit, man. Yo, I was gonna ask,
but I love Nori. But I love Nori. All respect.
I know personality, super personality. Y'all had it was the beef between Pac and Big that didn't let you listen to Pac. Allow you to listen to Pac. But how about those little subliminals between Nas? Because you brought up the message, and he said it's one life, one love, so there could only be one king.
Yeah. You know what I think it was? It was more personal for me because I felt like Pac was coming at the East Coast. You know what I mean? So, people beefing with each other. I mean, that's that's hip hop. You know what I mean? That's Shan and Marley. Shan and Marley against BDP, or Antoinette against Light, you know what I mean? So I knew it was always going to be shots. I mean, it's one of the things that most people say, like if Big was still alive, like him and Jay would have probably ended up going at each other, because to me, Jay is like Marlo. And if Big was, Avon, we could be cool all day long, but eventually somebody want that. I think Jay said it in an interview. He said, well, I knew Rockefeller was going to break up because he says only one presidential suite. There's only one. And me, Dame, and Kareem can't all stay in there. You see what I'm saying? So it could only be one. You know what I mean? So once that whole King of New York thing started and it was the belt, it's like, who's coming after that world championship belt? And I don't think Jay was just going to be like, all right, well, it's cool. I'll take the Intercontinental title because you my man. Like, nah, Jay gonna want that world championship belt the same way Big gonna want that world championship belt. So eventually they was gonna have to, you know, come to blows. Everybody is if you want that belt, unless you just willing to kind of. It was a big thing in Philly a while back, you know, where Freeway will say, y'all, you know, Meek got it, or you know, Gilly got it. You know what I mean? When, you know, the same thing with T.I. I'm the king of the South. You know what I mean? Now you got other people feeling kind of way. So if somebody's saying you the king of Philly, then I guess you're gonna have to get up and get ready to. Same thing with hoops. If a nigga's like, yo, I own this court, I own Soul in the Hole. Well, then some niggas gonna come along and play you one-on-one. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, I feel like you gonna bump heads because it's a competitive sport. You know, we all
you test your merit. You gotta test your merit, man.
You just made me really. Every time we think of Big, it just left such a hole in the game, and even thinking about the Commission album they were gonna work on. I mean, the album we had 2 with Jay-Z and Big, and like a whole. The fact that we missed an album on 2 of the top 3, 4, whoever's book, and we missed an album on that. Like we got, you know, Watch the Throne with Kanye. That was cool, but a Jay-Z and Big album in their prime, we missed out. And I say that selfishly, of course, because God bless them.
No, of course.
And Phife Dawg, we brought up Phife Dawg earlier, but we mentioned Nas, and it's me and Big's favorite. Me and B-Mad's favorite Nas song is "Take It in Blood." He started it with "Brag, I Realize Keep It," because it's the best secret. And that always pulled me because I'm like, yo, he just told his secret. But it was so ill how he did it. It embodied Nas's whole storytelling, witty, just the genius of Nas. Shit like that and walk off. And still be kind of underrated. Yeah.
Such a hard song. Whew. God damn.
That beat
that
Bless the Dead.
Like that. I got it like that. Oh man. Yeah.
God Bless the Dead. Stretch produced the beat from Voice. So you know what I mean? That's another big connection. So all that ties into each other. Whenever I think of that song, I think of that time period, think of the people that were beefing and all that. But yeah,
that's a dope pick. That's a dope pick. Brother Ev, what you got, man?
My next joint, man, I'm gonna go back home for a quick second because I ain't lived home in a while, and every time I hear this joint, it gets me hyped. Though I'm not the biggest fan of this person, but Freeway. We hustle till the sun come up. 40 when the sun go down. It's a cold winter.
Bundle up.
Yes. Because it reminds me, you know, I grew up uptown, and then when I hit like 19, I moved down north, and I was down north for the rest of that time. But it just reminded me, like, that hustle game, it's like a job. Like, motherfuckers outside all night, especially in the wintertime. You know how the winters get. They out there, and it's a cold winter, but they be out there getting it. So it's just like, yo, man, it just that verse, every time I hear it, it just gets me, it gets me hype every time I hear it.
Oh, yo, man. I don't think there's anybody in Philadelphia who doesn't know every word to what we do. Like, I mean,
excellent
literally.
Choice.
That 76
Excellent choice.
When they put it on, and old girls started bopping to it.
The Sixers game. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When the stomach start growling, and the heat stopped working, I'm a rob me a person. Come on, man.
Yo, I made the mistake of one day saying that Freeway got killed by Jay-Z and Beans.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yo, B let me have like, you better listen to that again. You better listen to that again. I was like,
nah, Freeway made the best records in state property. Think about what I'm saying. He made the best records in state property.
Yeah, and it's funny because my man was breaking that down.
Smashes. 3 smashes. Flip side.
Yeah, you put flip side on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the joint you talking about. You know what I mean?
Persona, see, like Freeway don't be flipping and doing all that stuff, but man, his delivery and you gonna feel
his voice.
Feel it. He got his own voice and he got his own flow. You
rock the mic. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Crazy.
I didn't know how his voice would work, and when Rock the Mic came out, I was like, oh nah, wow, okay, he got it.
Line him
Line it out.
Yeah, line him up. Line him up is crazy. Yeah.
All right. Come on, man. He got crazy records.
Yo, and truth be told, Line Cash wasn't on a lot of cats wasn't up on this joint, the stimulus package joint that him and Freeway did, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Some of the illest album cover art, the money, the liner notes is the money.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Like,
What's that called, Phil?
the stimulus package. Him and Jake won.
hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Him and Jake won. It's crazy.
Yo, I'm gonna take a
what
break
you got
real
up next, Mark? What you
Yeah.
said? What you
Take
say
a break
that?
real quick.
All right, no doubt. What you got, bro?
I'm feeling another part of reality. Hit me when I represent the FAE. Straight from the bill children, play the building.
Kill it. Yeah.
Man, talking about somebody riding the track. Man, man, Buckshot. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Buckshot.
Yeah, man. That's all.
Vern just dropped the mic. He was like, I don't want to talk. I'm just, say it real quick.
That's real. I love it. Yo, I was a Buckshot fan, man, for a period.
Yo, that was my whole, when I first started writing, Buck was my whole influence.
Yeah, man.
My whole influence.
Melodic. You talk about melodic in the pocket.
In the pocket, melodic. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Trey, what you got up?
All right, everybody say it with me. I bomb atomically. Philosophy, hypotheses.
Yo, Jack may actually be one of the best rhyme setter offers. Like, if that's a word, like, whatever he's on,
Does that
gonna body, whether it's above the clouds, whether it's triumph, no matter what you put Dak on, he's gonna just body it. God,
I put parts of that verse on Facebook, and this odd white chick, not odd, but she surprised me that I work with, was spitting. I'm like, whoa, you know that? Yeah,
that's the woo. I mean, come on, man. You're right. There might not be a better setter offer. Other than Master Ace, which I was gonna hold, but you know what I'm saying? Listen closely to your attention undivided. Come on, man. You know what that is. Off the rip.
Come on. Oh, see.
Yo, and the crazy thing that people don't know about Ace is Ace wasn't even supposed to be on the symphony. You know what I mean? He just was on that because Shan didn't show up to the session. Because at the time, Shan was the biggest cat out the crew at the time. So Shan was like, they left the little airport where they were shooting the cover for Marley's joint. And Shan was like, yeah, I'm coming back to the studio, and just never came. And then Ace was there, and it was like, yo, you want to jump on? And it's like, yeah, but it's like, yo, you gotta set this shit off with Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap, and Ace came and embodied it.
And I say this all the time. You may like G Rap's verse better, you may like Kane's verse better, but nobody's verse could have set that record off like Ace
did.
Nobody.
Yeah, it's a sign on the door, no biting allowed. You know what I mean?
Nobody. So I bomb atomically, and I already gave you the other one. Listen closely to your attention undivided. Drop the mic.
Yeah. The next joint I got in, tonight's the night I get in some shit. Deep cover on the incognito tip. Motherfuckers, if I have to, peeling caps too, because you niggas know I'm coming at you. First off, when that beat came in, that bass line was just crazy. Then the way Dre set it off was crazy. Now back to another time, the first time we ever hear Snoop creep with me as I crawl through the hood, maniac, lunatic, call him Snoop Eastwood, kicking dust as I buck fuck piece and the motherfucking punk police. Like, I was just like, God, who the fuck is this? Like, those were the days when a guest rapper, you would just be like, yo, creep with me as I creep through the hood, maniac, lunatic, call him Snoop Eastwood.
Yes.
I was like, this nigga just called himself Snoop Eastwood. Like, you know what I mean? Which was crazy. Then
Double
another
entendre.
two I got. What'd you say?
Double entendre.
Yeah, like, I mean, it was just like, that was crazy. Now, another joint I got, you want to front what? Jump up and get bucked. If you feeling lucky, duck, then press your luck. I take fake gangster MCs and make them faggot flambe. Your nine spray. My mind spray. We all know how Come Clean was. But what I don't think gets talked about enough is the original. The way them drums came in, And then with the dirty, rotten, scoundrel, that's what I'm called. Street could combine and cheat, but rarely get beat. See, I'm streetwise, a con game pro, kicking the Bobby bullshit, too smart for Willie Bobo, not stressing 5-0, hot hand and CeeLo, live in the land of crooks. Yes, Brooklyn's the borough, homicide central, East New York, where the manic, depressing psycho murderers stalk. Like, yo, people don't talk about the original. That joint was hard as hell. J. Rue, and maybe y'all can help me understand Trey and Ev, because again, I can't rap. I'm amazed when people can do shit I can't do. Just the way he came in with dirty, rotten, scoundrel. That's what I'm called. Like, it was like a stutter flow. Like, you know, could combine a heat but rarely get beat. You see, I'm streetwise, a con game. Like, where as an MC, like, where do y'all come up with these pockets and different flows and different like how do y'all how? Like, just where does it even come from? Like, are you hearing the beat? Is it one of those things like old playground legend from Brooklyn, Ed Booger Smith? You know, they were doing a shoot for him with Photo Illustrated back in the 90s, and you know, the photographer was like, do a move, and he was like, I can't. I can only, you know, do a move based off of what a defender is giving me. You know what I mean? So I can't just sit here and pose for pictures for y'all like that. Like, is that how y'all feel as an MC, like with a beat? Like, does the beat kind of lead you to where you want to go, or do you already have in your mind how you want to take a song? Like can y'all walk me through just a little bit of y'all process of what do you like? Do you like to get the beat first and rhyme? What do you prefer?
You want to go first, Trey?
It don't matter. I'll go for me myself. I like, you know, I like to write rhymes. Like, I like my suits. I like them custom fit, tailored. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the track. You know what I mean? Like, it gotta fit like, this rhyme can't fit no other track. It fits that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want the audio experience to be maximized, if you will. Now, you know, as an MC, we could take, you know, rhymes that we've written and, you know, do it on the fly and, you know, try to, you know what I'm saying, get into the pockets of whatever beat that we hear, you know what I'm saying, based on the written that we already got or whatever. But me personally, for you to get, as a listener, for you to get the full effect, it must be custom fit. And so when you get that beat, it's all kind of pockets in there. The best MCs can find about 6, 7, 8 different pockets to rhyme in. You know what I'm saying? But it's the one that you pick if you want to stay in that mode, or what J. Rue did is what was the style like back then, where it was the off and on shit. Like, there was a part in the 90s where the off and on was the hot shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, you get off the beat and come right back on the beat. And then when you come back on the beat, you find a different pocket. It's the way you split a word. If it's a 2-syllable word, you'll end it on one sonnet with the first syllable and then come back on the second sonnet with the next syllable. You know what I'm saying? And it connects the words when you're listening to it. But you're not rhyming on the way that word actually ends. You're rhyming on where the syllable ends. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but it's all to answer the question, or to wrap it up in a nice little bow. It's all on what the beat says, at least from my perspective. If I read the beat and the beat tells me to do a certain thing, then I'm going to do what that track tells me. But the difference is how I'm going to separate myself is I'm going to find a pocket that most motherfuckers won't find. It's not going to be the traditional, you know, on the one shit. You know what I'm saying? It just won't be that. But go ahead, Ed.
I definitely agree wholeheartedly. And I'm not just saying it because it's Trey, because I'm a big fan of Trey's style, but I agree completely. The beat is the blueprint, and the beat will tell you what you're supposed to do. It'll tell you what the track is about. It'll tell you the cadence that you should be using. It'll tell you where all the pockets are at. And like Trey said, you can find that pocket that's going to fit for you.
Now, F, stop there. For people, again, because we want to teach, what's a pocket?
A pocket, so when I was talking earlier about the rod and finding those pockets, a pocket is, to me, it's like the groove.
Yep, that's the perfect word, man. Perfect word.
The thing that keeps you right, like, to the listener, it's the thing that makes you go, you start doing that shit. Mm-hmm. Before you even really know everything that they're saying, you start doing that shit because that pocket is so fucking good. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of the equivalent. I know JR probably, it's like a bass player. When a bass player, especially, you know, and them motherfuckers be in it, they don't move a whole lot, but they motherfuckers move. That's that pocket. MCs, MCs, lyricists who are really studied know how to find that pocket. And to Trey's point, it's a beautiful thing when you find that you find that MC that does that unexpected pocket. You be like, yo, oh shit, like they're riding a different, but it's still you still like this in it. You're like, ew. But just makes you just So I'll say that to bring it back, I'll say it's definitely the beat. I always said this even in the beginning when I started writing. The beat is the blueprint. The beat tells me what to do. Yeah, you can have verses, and you're not always going to have that. Be able to customize it in that way. So you'll have verses maybe here and there, but it's nothing like a verse that's written for that track, written for that beat. It'll never be. You can put it on other things, but it's not going to fit the same way. And like Trey said, it's like a suit. So another example of a nice pocket ride. And I'm gonna say this because you're on here. Because every time you're on here, I gotta say the same shit. If it ain't one thing, it's another kid. When it rains and pour, I did what I had to do. Run for cover. Yo, when I heard that shit back, and that's Trey shit from way back. But it's something about those pockets, man, and those rides, and just really being able to commit to it. Also, with J-Ru, one thing that I love a lot, because he does this, Lauren does this at times, is I feel like, the art of MC is also, there's a language there. It's a language, and it's not English. It's just is a different kind of language. So to take words and pull them apart to make them fit inside something, it's a beautiful thing to do. It's a beautiful thing when you see people do it right. Because everybody.
Can you give an example? Like you said, Lauren, can you give an example?
It's funny how money changed the situation. Miscommunication leads to complication. That's not the word, but that's the way that she flips it inside of that, so it fits inside of that pocket. And some MCs can do it really well. It's a breath control thing. Some MCs have it. Some MCs try and they might fumble. But I think it's a beautiful thing when you see it done. And it's almost like to any graffiti writer or any cat that's into the bombing. You see somebody with a dope hand and they put that piece up, and you be like, damn, the way they freak that ass is just crazy. It's something in their hand. It's the same thing for me for MCs. They're just when some of them can actually take those words and break them apart and kind of piece them in, and you know what they saying, you know what they mean, but you know that's not how the word is said. It's just dope. Right. It's just dope. But our language, man.
I was just talking about that with Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on if I ain't whipping a land throughout your section. You know what I mean? I love all that through Illadelph because he was taking words and changing them. You know what I mean? So
just like going back to Big when he said, make his chest rest where his back should be. Talking blasphemy, blasting me, your family, resting coffins often. MCs are soft and fragile.
Ooh.
Fragile. Play hard like Reggie Miller. Fragile. Like when he did that, I was like, is he saying fragile? Is he saying fragile? Yeah, fragile.
But I think that's another part. When you think about, hip hop. Hip hop is a thing. We're gonna take something, we're gonna flip it. You're gonna have your producers, we're gonna take this sample, we're gonna flip this shit to do something else. You got your dancers, we're gonna take the refrigerator box, and this is a shout out to my cats up in NY in the Bronx. We're gonna take the refrigerator joint, we're gonna open up the box, we're gonna dance on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for the lyrics. We're gonna take these words, these English language words, and we're gonna break them apart and make them do something different. And I think that's always been the nature of hip hop. We're gonna take this thing that that is just here, and we're gonna flip it and make it something else.
Dope. Porsche, what you got left? I know you got 22 left, so
I've got like 5 left, but I'll just go just off of what we're talking about now. I have Watch Me Now, Ultramagnetic MCs on Critical Beatdown.
This is why this my motherfucking sister.
and actually the reason why I want to bring this up, I actually was going to bring up a different too, but I wanted to bring this up is because what gets me about this
fucking hip hop album of all time.
I love this hip hop.
This is a top 5 hip hop album ever.
Yeah, it is. Ever. It's a dope album. And this track is the first track. It sets off the album. Ooh. And then the first verse on this is what just sets it's just brilliant. It's brilliant. And I have to read this because it fits exactly what Trey and Ev were just talking about. So it starts off and it says, well, I'm the ultimate, the rhyme imperial. I'm better, but some don't believe me though. But I'm a pro in hot material on your Walkman box or any stereo. Uno, dos, not cuatro. Spanish girls, they like to call me Pancho. On the mic, innovating as Pateren. And then you fell off, your brain is on Saturn.
Yeah.
and then it says take steps and climb my ladder and. So it's just, and it's dope, and it just keeps going. So this is, like, again, it's brilliant. It sets off brilliant. It's the reason why I love that album so much. And I wish I could say that I, got a hold of a Critical Beatdown when it dropped. I didn't, obviously at that time, I was not in any environment where I would have gotten ultramagnetic MCs. I'm laughing because it's so far-fetched. But when I heard this, it was what got me. And this album, like Kill said, it's a dope album. And this first track just starts it all off. So
and keep in mind, this is 1986.
Yeah.
When this shit dropped. This is 1986.
Yeah.
Kool Keith this whole album to me is like on some old, I don't know if y'all used to watch wrestling. It was this tag team called the New Breed back in the 80s. And they said they was from the future. That's what these niggas was. These beats was from the future.
That's
Rhyme said G's beats was from the future. Kool Keith's rhymes was from the future. There's a book called Check the Technique. This is a testament to how good this album is. The two albums, and they're talking about all the great albums that came out during the golden era in the 80s. The two that have the largest section is Criminal Minded and this.
Critical Beatdown, yeah.
They have the biggest section.
Ego Tripping is on that joint, right?
Yep.
Ego Tripping is on here. Funky is on here.
Listen, I love
Get a Drum or Something is on here.
Mine when I heard Ego Tripping. Oh my God.
Kool Keith was from the future. Like, if there's anybody who I can say was from the future and can time travel, it's these niggas right here.
I agree. I agree.
So that's my one. And then I got big. I got some big joints in here, but I got Hypnotized. And I know everyone thinks the song is corny, and I always
I don't know why everybody hates Hypnotized.
I do
know a lot of niggas.
Look at me.
I know a lot of Brooklyn niggas who hate it. That's crazy.
He's like, who
every time I tell people I love the way Hypnotized. That's one of my favorite songs of all time because of the way Big goes, ha, sicker than your average. Like, Papa Twist, Cabbage Off Instinct. Like, stop, Big. Like, please.
Yeah, I don't even entertain those kind of conversations.
Yeah,
in Brooklyn.
Like, it's just this track is just, it's got everything. It's got everything. It's got Big's clever, witty rhymes. It's got energy. It's fun. The video was dope. Even with Puffy, like, God, I wish I could delete him, but like, like, I'll just everything about it is dope.
Yo, I didn't even realize he said ha. I thought he said I'm sicker than your average. He said ha.
He goes ha, sicker than your average.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'm
I'm
always
listening.
amazed when people say they don't like Hypnotized. I'm like, what is there not to like?
What
Like,
is there not to like?
the beat is crazy. Y'all act like he rhyming over and can't touch this. Like, yo, that beat is crazy. Neither
I don't even entertain that conversation.
Tracy, agree, Trey.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I got left back in remedial classes. JR mentioned earlier about remedial class. I'm in remedial hip hop, y'all. But you guys are way further ahead than me. Portia's ill.
Yo, but the dope thing I always love about this is that it's always at 47. Well, God, I ain't 47 yet. At 46, I just love knowing why people pick what they do. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like, it doesn't matter how much somebody knows. It's just, I want to know your story. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's interesting to me. Like, it's not about whatever. JR is like, I'm the R&B guru. Why you always want me on the show? Because I'm interested in what you bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? I'm always interested in what speaks to you. My man told me Smooth B was the dopest MC ever. I totally disagree, but 20 years ago, I want to argue with you. 20 years ago, I want to argue with you. Now, 20 years of marriage, I don't want to argue no more. I just want to know, what did Smooth B say that made you, like, what was it that just spoke to your soul and said Smooth B is better than everybody? Like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to change your mind.
I want to hear your perspective.
Yeah, I don't want to debate with you. I just want to hear your perspective. So, and my pastor told me, keep people, never be the smartest people in the person in the room. That's why I keep all these other people around me, because I always
definitely not the smartest.
To me, if I'm the smartest on this podcast, I'm in the wrong room because I'm not learning nothing. I want to walk away every week like, oh shit, what did Porsche say? Okay, I need to listen to such and such, or what did JR say? So, you know, that's the thing. But Porsche, what else you got?
I got Big's Dead Wrong again. Brilliant. Big is one of the rappers. As I was doing this list, I realized initially all of my tracks were Big tracks, and I realized like Big just mastered the art of setting off tracks perfectly. So it goes without saying. But Dead Wrong, relax and take notes while I take tokes of the marijuana. I don't even smoke. I've never smoked in my life. And I'm like, okay, Big, like let's pull up. Like, what are we going on here? I don't even smoke. But yes, like Big made me love that song, and the lyrics are not very like they're pretty.
No, those lyrics are very, very, very nasty.
They are. They are. And I remember when I first heard it, I was like, what is he saying? Every time I listen to it, I'm like, what? But here I am listening to it again and again and again, you know? So
I cringe listening to that. I like them young, fresh, and green with no hair in between. Like, whoa, what are you talking about?
Gotta listen.
That would be my Eminem.
You know what's really funny is I was like, obviously he's obviously playing on the whole thing to get people's attention, but obviously he's talking about weed. Like, it's just very obvious to me. I don't know.
It's not that obvious.
It is.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You guys, that's green. What are you guys talking about?
Green, you know what green means?
Yes,
like
I do.
You don't know anything.
I know what that means, but
I was getting very Candyman, but I've never liked that wrong because one, it was one of them songs that I don't never do the post-motimus, or I don't even know how you pronounce it.
The post albums,
I don't do it. If you ain't write it to the beat, I don't want it. So I never even, you know.
But I like that opening line though. But yeah, when he got into all of that, I was like,
I've heard this a lot, but I was like, you guys really like think that? Like, really? I don't know. I never.
Yo, when you said my nigga got to kiss that kids, fuck them in their ass and throw them over the bridge, I cringed at that line too.
Yeah. I tell you what, boys, you definitely made it more acceptable because now I don't have to think about that it means what I thought it meant.
Like, I don't know.
Like, but thank you. I'm thanking you.
You're very welcome.
I always felt guilty listening to that.
No, the only thing is I had, like, I'm the only person I know that does not smoke weed, kind of. Right? So, JR doesn't, Vern doesn't. Okay, great. So
I haven't smoked in a long time.
I apologize. I got fibromyalgia, so I got medical. So.
I live in California. I'm sorry.
All of my friends.
He can't live in Cali. He gotta smoke. I mean, you got to if you live in Cali.
I live in BC, so everyone, BC bud, whatever. So I've always ever been told about everyone always tries to educate everybody about weed here. So it's always like, well, you don't want sticks, you don't want seeds, you don't want this, you don't want. So like all of this kind of like, young, fresh, and green. Like this was all stuff that people were like, yeah, you want like weed that's like very like it was all about bud, and that's how I was always kind of associated that verse and line. So
well good for you.
Let's keep it there, Porsche. Yeah. I'm glad you saw that.
I just want to be very clear. I've never associated that line with anything other than weed. So that's just.
Yeah. I felt bad. I felt horrible.
That's the first time I heard it compared to weed. I always thought it was
Wow. And I've never touched weed in my life. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. Anyways. And then my last one is Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback. Like,
there you go.
This was everything about the video is dope. The way he's in the boxing ring, the mic is from the ceiling down, and he's just demands all of that presence and mic presence, right? So perfect with the beat. LL's rhyming is dope as hell. We know that. He's a goat. So that one.
No,
All
perfect.
right, no doubt. B, what you got left, good brother?
Queens.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I ain't gonna say who it is. I'm just gonna spit
You
it.
go.
As I combine. What do you say? Like as I combine.
That's all you have to say. All you have to do is say, as I combine. It was good.
I come around.
Cannon, racking, try to read my mind. Just imagine,
listen.
bold, have you, Larry necessary, when digging into my life. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listen,
Honestly,
kid listening to the video. That was incredible, man. The video, Spike Lee produced
Yeah.
that video,
Spike
right?
shot
He
that.
directed that video.
Yeah.
Yo, that was just ill, man. What? And just the energy I had. That was the first time. Like I know he's a part of Leaders in New School, but that was like the first time, like the world's introduction to Busta. Like that was just coming out. Like this dude is here, and
I feel like
that verse, man. It's incredible.
I feel like that verse, man, is so good. It's one of the best things he did, but it's also one of his biggest hurdles because it's like now everybody expects you to do that thing, and it's like, damn, you did. It's like he did it too good. Like, damn, you almost like, what is that called? Typecast. Like, oh, you just gotta kind of typecast stuff.
Hey.
But I think he talks about that on the Dragon album he did with Tip.
Yeah. I mean, I think the crazy thing is, here's the crazy part that, I mean, this dude just dropped a banger last year. You know what I mean? So he's been one of the few MCs who you know, had a hurdle and, you know, has been here through many decades. You know what I mean? Like, did we do a show about that? Yeah, we did a show about, you know, the best comeback album. Because I'm like, if you're blessed to be in this game long enough, you're going to put up some bricks. Like, you just are. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, well, who had the dopest comeback album? I mean, Busta, you know, he just, you know, even the joint he did with Flavor in Your Ear remix. You know what I mean? Like, he just could always just continually come and just, you know, do something different. Like, one day we gonna have to just do a show with y'all breaking down Busta because he has so many different styles. You know what I mean? Like, just so many. Like, you know, and again, my T don't let me rhyme because she said I still rhyme like it's 1985. So it's like I'm still stuck with my Curtis Blow rhyme. So it's like, you know, I'm like, how do y'all keep coming up with these new styles? Like, I can't come up with one. These niggas got 8. Like, damn, man. Like, so it's like I said, seeing y'all rhyme and stuff is like seeing a nigga flying in the sky. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, you know, because you can't do it. You know, if I could play ball as good as LeBron, I wouldn't watch hoops all day because I could do that shit. I'd be like, I did that yesterday at the playground. Fuck, I'm looking at this nigga for, you know, so. But, all right, JR, what you got left, good brother?
The last one I got, because I mean, Portia took darn near a lot of mine, but no, it's cool. But I'm gonna go out west, and I'm gonna go with how Lady Ray started the G-Funk intro, and how she was like, "I'm sipping on Tanqueray with my mind and my money and my mouth full of ganja, R-A-G with the motherfucking E back with my nigga S and double O-P." Like, whoo, like. That, like, she killed that verse, you know what I'm saying? And then hearing that, and you know what I'm saying, I always dedicate the Doggy Style album teaching me how to curse very well. So,
how old were you when the Doggy Style album came out?
7.
Wow.
7. So like when that verse,
I was like a sophomore in college,
right? And right, and my mom knew I would love this, so she would wait till that part come, and she like. So that verse, she started it off right, yo. Like that joint goes in. The beats hard. Them using, you know what I'm saying, Dre using Funkadelic and doing all that. Lady Ray started that right, so. That verse.
All right, that's what's up. Jay, what you got left, bro? Right, what you got left?
Well, they said Jay, my bad.
Yeah. Nah, you Jay, you good?
Jay or Ray?
Right, you. My bad, Ray. My bad.
I had 2 because they took my 5 Dog one. I was gonna go with the Snoop. Yo, Gin and Juice is the name of the song?
Yeah.
So the way he started that, every time I think of Snoop, I think of that. So much drama in the LBC, Snoop Dogg,
Double G, so somehow, some way, yeah.
With Funky, it's like every single day. Oh my God!
And
the way he
through
is he the first West Coast rapper like that?
Sorry?
Is he the first West Coast rapper to rap like that? I don't know.
To like bounce like that.
Yeah, I think so. The pause, the way he paused and phrase and let it breathe. I never heard nobody rhyming like that before, Snoop.
I would say yes, but I'm not a West Coast. You know, that's like where we got to get Ray.
Ray,
yeah, we got to get Ray on there from the West Coast to kind of break that down. But and I know a lot of times Snoop gave DOC a lot of credit for kind of teaching him how to do those things. Or like when Dre would say, like when he said, what was it? Like it was something on G thing, and it was like he was saying it and they was like, no, do it more like sing-songy-ish or something like that. So, you know, I think it goes back to MCs being able to be produced and being able to say, hey, I think it would be dope if you try it this way or if you try it that way, because all these MCs that we're talking about for the most part were like just raw. You know what I mean? Like most MCs, when you hear them talk about, they're like, oh, you know, I didn't know about bars. I didn't know it was this structure. I didn't know nothing about choruses and all of that. So, but yeah, Snoop may have been the first one to rhyme like that.
It was the one when he said 1, 2, 3 into the 4. DOC right. Like, nah, still like this, and gave him the pause.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even with that, with G thing, that's what brought me to G thing. I mean, the beat was crazy, but then when Snoop set it off, it was like, ooh, he back. Like, and again, this is the first time we're hearing Snoop after Deep Cover. So it's like you had that anticipation. So what you gonna follow that up with? And with G thing, it was just like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's a dope pick. That's a dope pick. Ed, what you got left, bro?
I got one left, but then I gotta bounce because I gotta put the little dude to sleep. Man, he's I know his bedtime is coming up. But I'm gonna end it on. I'm gonna go to Queens, man. Through the lights, cameras, and action, glamour, glitters, and gold. I
knew somebody was gonna do it.
When I'm deceased. By then the beasts arise like yeast to conquer peace, leaving savages to roam in the streets, live on the run. I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna say the whole verse, y'all. But I just think it was just a beautiful. It's just a beautiful verse, man. It's just the pockets he hit, the way he chose to do it, the run-on sentences that are in there. It's a hell of a verse. So, verbal intercourse, Nas.
Yeah.
Gotta salute Queens. For sure. And I'm gonna bounce, y'all. I appreciate the time and the energy.
Always.
Thank you, Ev.
Yo, I appreciate it. I didn't realize we are gonna have 2 MCs, and y'all really. I appreciate this. It's ill. Good to meet you and all that, brother.
Yeah, you likewise. Thank you for having me. It's always good seeing y'all, man.
Before you go, real quick, 2 minutes. What are you working on right now?
I'm working on a project called Prophet. And it's basically, it talks about the journey and the lineage of the MC. This one is written from more of a Philadelphia perspective, because that's where I'm from. And I feel like MCs and lyricists, it's a regional thing. So there's some things that are alike, but you know, there's some things that are different. And with this particular project, man, we're doing it's literary. It's a book. There's a theater component. There's an actual film. We're doing a screening on Saturday. For this organization, The Yard. It's on Instagram, but I'll send you the link, Kill. So it's a screening of the film. It's just a rough idea of some of the things that we've been working on for the last year. And there's an album that's coming with it, but you know, there's also a book that's going to be there. There's the film. So it's a bunch of different things. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more of the workshop stuff, the discussions. Of course, I had to call my man Killen for it because, you know, when we started live from the writer's bench, we were coming from this perspective of really like looking at this form that we call hip hop and looking at these distinct things that are inside of that, like MCing, like DJing, like breaking, and really like looking at form itself, not just saying, oh, this is hip hop, because in lyricism, MC, it's a study. And I think, you look at your MCs there, it's a study. The same way a painter goes and paints his portrait and tries to get better at it. It's the same way that MCs do their thing. And unfortunately, there's not enough light given to it because people see it as just like something that you do in hip hop. But it's a study, it's a form. I love the fact that lyricists don't stop writing, their pens don't stop moving. So like, people like Trey, dropping an album last year. Like, it's just I'm always loving that because this is an ongoing thing. This is what we do. This is our career. Exactly. This is our form. So it just really want to salute that, man. And this in this particular piece, man, I'm actually giving some shouts out to different verses. I'm shouting out my influences, which were I grew up in a church. So I have some, like, for me, I wanted to be that the preacher was my influence, like the way the preacher controlled ceremony. I wanted to do it like that. So, but there's a lot of times
we got very similar. Wow,
people don't talk about this part, but this is that study. But it's cool because I'm about to send some stuff to Trey because I really want you to check it out. I'm gonna send it to everybody because I really want.
I can't wait, man. I know we've been supposed to have a conversation.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So we're just doing that thing, man, and it's just a peace thing to do, and I appreciate everyone that's been part of the project so far, and just some of the things that I've gotten from it. So it's been definitely like an awakening for me, and just looking at this form, looking at what we do, even this panel, all the stuff that we talked about today. This is academia, man. This is shit they need to teach in university for real. So. Love y'all, man. Peace to y'all.
Right, take care.
And
peace. No doubt. Looking, yes. Vern, what you got left, good brother?
All right, I'm gonna rattle off 4 set-offs and 1 ending. I'll be remiss if I didn't say, as the scene unfolds, young girls, 13 years old, expose themselves. Cujo set off cell therapy. First of all, the beat and the piano that, if y'all don't know, that boom, 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 they sampled that from a ballet record on how to learn ballet. So yeah, but Cujo just said it with his husky
cell
voice.
Therapy, baby.
Yeah, man. So that's that one. I'm rough and tough and all that stuff. I make you dance and prance to you. Come on, Heavy D, Mr. Big Stuff. Dollar 7 digits. Call it Bridget. Her man's a midget. Opio set off to infinity, bro. And then this is simple, but it's memorable. Hey, baby, your hips are getting big.
hey, Sadat.
Man, yeah. And then my one to end it. Tajay, 2 syllables, easy with ease B, C's B, but them C's B. Make your mind up, Tajay. Just put the period on that sentence, man.
Murdered that.
Yeah, I love Tajay. So that's me.
All right, Trey, what you got left, good brother?
It's one song with 2 opening lines, 2 opening verses, or should I say, 2 intros. So it goes, mic check. I could get smooth to any groove, relax the tongue, let my mic take a cruise around the planet, pack 'em in like Janet Jackson. She's acting, and if I can wait a minute.
Oh, Red, hold up.
Get off that punk smooth shit, man. Get with that rough shit. Jigga. Mic check. I walk around the streets with the black tech 9 by my waistline, kicking out hype shit.
Claim to be the best type of rapper. Show
the motherfucker what I'm at. I'm after the gold. After that, Hurricane G pack
gas, son.
Chitty bang bang. Come on, man.
Yo. Those are the things that I want to ask. She's like, what made you do that? Was that a fuck up? Did somebody mess up? Or were you instinctually thinking like, yo, I'm gonna start the rhyme like this? Yo, G, you come in and say this, and then I'm gonna just flip the whole. I'm just always amazed at how stuff like that happens, and then amazed at how many things were accidents. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it an accident? Was it on purpose? Like the way D'Angelo ends, how does it feel? They ran out of tape. That's why the song just stops. Yep. You know what I mean? They just ran out of tape. So that's why it just cuts off like that. All these years I thought it was like, that's some old ill. They're like, no, we just ran the fuck out of tape. That's why it stopped. So
that's crazy.
the mind process is so crazy, man. Yeah.
Redman, salute, Redman.
Got a couple left. I walk around town with the pound strap down on my side, no front, just in case I gotta smoke something. That, like, I mean, from the second, like, again, like we said before, you hear the horns of Bucktown, it was just like, yo, what's this? And then when the beat come in, and I just walk around the town with a pound strap down. And then for years, I always thought he was talking about weed. Ed was like, no, I thought he was talking about the 4 pound, like in case he gotta kill somebody. I was like, oh, I always thought he was talking about he had a pound of weed if he wanted to smoke. So I always love, not knowing which one it was.
Double entendre, baby, double entendre.
There you go. I'm naming the show. I don't even know how to start this shit based off of rappers. I'm monkey flipping with the funky rhythms I'll be kicking. Musician inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface sniffing cocaine, holding the M16.
With the pen extreme.
Because to me, when Nas is saying like, yo, I don't even know how to start this, and Premier was saying like he was in the studio recording that, and he was like literally like, yo, I don't even know how to start the rhyme off. And Premier was just counting them in. You know what I mean?
That was genius.
Yeah, and then the way that he ends it, it drops deep as it does in my breath. I never sleep. Sleep is the cousin of death. Beyond the walls of intelligence, life is defined. I think a crime when I'm in the New York state of mind. Like, again, the whole Rakim piece of, I know you guys sold. Like, what's the name of this song? New York state of mind. You know what I mean? So constantly bringing you back. I'm an act for sneakers, 20 the Buddhas and bitches with beepers and streets. I greet you about blunts. I teach you in hell deep. Like the words of my breath. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. So I just loved how he did that. At night, I can't sleep. I toss and turn. Candlesticks in the dark. Visions of bodies being burned. 4 walls just staring at a nigga. I'm paranoid, sleeping with my finger on the trigger. Like, when I first heard, Mom playing tricks on me, I was probably, like 9th grade. So it was like 88. And it's like, yo, even before you saw the video, it just had some era horror to it. Just the way Faye set it off with that was crazy. Brothers are amused by other brothers' reps, but the thing they know best is where the gun is kept, because in the night you'll feel fright. And at the side of 4th, 5th, I guess you just might want to do a dance or two, because he could probably bust you for himself or with a crew. So, I mean, just to get a rep by Gangstar, it is my favorite Gangstar song right there. I used to have to go down to Nicetown to see my girlfriend at the time. I had to catch, Trey, I had to catch the 6, I had to catch the Orange Line, and either walk through Nicetown or wait on the bus for like 20 minutes. So every weekend I'm in just to get a rep is like playing in my head. While others spit that Wonderama shit, me and my conglomerate shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finest shit, live out my life till my heart gives out, involved with cream. Y'all know exactly what the shit's about. Fuck y'all mean. Handling Cincinnati, I dish out like the point going on your favorite team without doubt. The shit is wicked on these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We all trying to win. But then again, maybe it's for the best though, because when they saying too much, they trying to get you touched, so Jay on the Evils and Dead President was both crazy. Vern, I'm gonna take it back to you. Very simplistic, lottie-dottie. We like to party. We don't start trouble. We don't bother nobody. Just the kids was on the mic, and when we rock on the mic, we rock the mic right. You know what I mean? Just very simplistically. And I think that's it. That's that was it.
Jay-Z's public service announcement. We didn't say it, but that's dope as hell. Yeah.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Hov. Everything is just dope about that. He killed it. He absolutely killed it with that.
And again, it's so crazy why I love these backstories of how they said, the Black Album was done. It was already done. It was a wrap. When somebody gave Just Blaze that record, I thought I had it laying around here somewhere.
Done on it, boy.
Yeah, it was already done. And then they had to hurry up and go record that. So it's just crazy that, the Black Album may not even have PSA on it. Like that was the last minute addition joint right there. You know what I mean? So, so very dope show.
Very dope.
Trey, tell them everything about Glory. I pre-ordered my book, so I'm ready to get these joints now. I'm hyped. That's it right there.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yep. This is the second test copy there because we had to change printers because they didn't give the first printer didn't give us what we needed. But we got what we needed in this one. It was just one small minor detail in here that we had to go back and fix. Just sent that into the printer. So hopefully tomorrow we will be able to send all our pre-orders out so that you will have them by next week. But this is the literary version of the album that's out on all streaming platforms. It's called Glory. This is Glory, the manuscript. you can only pre-order this on TracyLeeMusic.com along with the merch, as my man JR has on the hoodie right there. And then we have the video album that we're putting together now too. So basically, we're being very strategic on how we roll this particular piece of work or body of work out, because I just felt like it deserved that elasticity. It wasn't that, one of these, or the type of music that you listen to for 2 weeks and then you just put it away. And I think this right here is going to bring a lot of things home, because it's comprised of, how we used to get the lyrics in your albums, but we don't do that now because it's digital. But we have the lyrics of every record in here. We divided them into chapters, and then you have insight on each record within each chapter, along with photography done by Young Guru, who's not only a master engineer, but he's also great with the camera work and photography. And also OJiz, shout out to OJiz, because he produced the entire album, but he's also great with the camera work as well. And my man Mark Samuel, who also added some photography to the book. But this is really going to pull everything together from a literary perspective and from a lyrical perspective of the album. But if you haven't heard the album yet, it's on all streaming platforms. It's called Glory, and everything that I'm telling you about right now, you can get everything on TracyLeeMusic.com. That's TracyLee music.com.
No doubt. And like I always do, a plug for this man, because one of the things I say a lot of folk don't do for hip hop is giving back. When Trey dropped the first single, Sheesh, he gave producers an opportunity to remix it. You know what I mean? And him and Young Guru sat there and judged every remix. I mean, y'all was on IG for like 5 hours, big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of producers and a lot of MCs do that nowadays, but then they charge you for that. They're like, send me your song, and for $150, $200, I'll give you some feedback. But I mean, these two really sat through 50 different remixes and gave very insightful feedback to every producer, and that's
enjoyed every second of it. Enjoyed every second.
And I mean, I think that's one of the things that you don't get. So I'm always challenging people, whether it's like a daily challenge for your life or something like that. But for the folk out there who, and they had the scams going around with rappers were saying, "Yo, send me $500, we gonna do a mixtape together." And that whole thing was a scam. So it's just like, for me, if you could send $500 for this, or you could, pay somebody $150 to listen to your song, this man right here is giving back to hip hop in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? We're still going to do a Clubhouse. We're still going to do a thing of Apartment 5B where, for folk who may not know, Trey's an entertainment lawyer right now. So we're giving people opportunity to ask one question and get free legal advice, which is unheard of. That's unheard of. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that this man is just doing. So when we talk about it's when I get on these conversations of everybody on Twitter is a hip hop historian, everybody's a hip hop this and hip hop that. This is where you need to invest in hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With people who are investing in the culture. So I just challenge people that, if you love the culture, if you love all this, I see cats, and there's no disrespect, I see cats spend $200-$300 for a Conway hoodie, which is dope. If that's what you want, I'm never nobody to say this is what you should do with your money, but I'm just saying, for somebody who is actually trying to help MCs and help producers and help people, because there are a lot of questions. I'm a producer, I'm a sampling producer. You know how many questions a sampling producer has about being sued, or about streaming, or about stuff being taken down? And you'll get the opportunity to have an entertainment lawyer, not a real estate lawyer, try to tap dance around entertainment questions, but an entertainment lawyer. So I'm just saying all that to say, Trey, I salute you for what you do for hip hop and what you do for MCs and for people who are trying to come up and helping them, follow their dreams and everything like that.
And thank you for always you and Porsche, and just thank you for providing the platform, man. You know what I'm saying? This is invaluable, reaching other people.
Tracy Lee is one of my favorite people. I say this all the time. I literally talk about Trey's
I love you, Porsche.
I talk about Trey's lawyerness in Canada. I'm like, listen, if you want a lawyer, you need to lawyer up.
No doubt. I got a couple of overseas clients, man, that I've done work with. So yeah, that's a very viable option.
Man,
and again, it's
triple your rate for them too, because it's you shouldn't be cheap. That's for sure.
And again, to me, it's more importantly about how God works. Just like me and Trey were kicking it, he's like, yeah, you know, such, you know, I'm representing RJ Payne. I'm like, oh shit, I just did a track with RJ Payne. So, you know, again, this guy is putting the right people in the right situations and everything like that. So I'm always amazed at how things happen. Ray, B, tell them all about the podcast, all about what y'all doing, everything.
Let's put it in perspective. You see where we spell perspective right there, my name. PUTIPNPERSPECTV.com is the blog. I put it in perspective YouTube channel. We have the Instagram account. It's just us two kicking it, man. Right now we got the Nets. We following the Nets, of course. You know, the super team come out of New York right now. We gotta get in a conversation with this with Philly and his Ben Simmons. Our Philadelphia elbow drops. But all right. So
that's a bad matchup. That's a bad matchup for Brooklyn. That's a bad matchup for Brooklyn. That's all I'm gonna say.
No way.
Yeah, I can't agree with that one, Trey.
All right.
No way.
All right.
Not with Benny the Butcher. Not with Benny.
D'Antoni and Nash not win in the playoffs. That's all I'm gonna say.
And Ben Simmons don't do shit in the playoffs.
Check the D'Antoni track record and then come back to me.
We gotta check the Embiid track record because that nigga is not gonna be able to. His knees are not making it through this season if he got scored 35 a night for us to win every night.
Yeah. Damn, man.
It's gonna be. Hopefully we'll get that. Hopefully we'll get that. And if we get that Eastern Conference Finals, we will be doing a put in perspective 5B back and forth show every night. We'll be doing it before and after show. So
I want to. Trey Lee is a must to be on the show because he's talking a lot right now.
I'm telling you. Listen, I got the big three, and I love the big three, but I'm telling you, it's gonna come down to rotation. And if you depending on Nash and D'Antoni, you're gonna lose. I mark my words. He gonna overplay them boys. Watch.
Let me ask y'all a quick question. Are y'all concerned about KD?
A little bit.
Do you think the injury is more than what they're letting on?
I don't know. I think that just because the way they're playing now, they on an 8-game winning streak, they're giving them time to rest.
Right.
I think they're just playing this.
Okay.
Because you got 35 more games coming up. I mean, the way they're playing now, there's no need to really send them back into the office.
Right.
So just keep them healthy, let them get rest up. You know, we'd be ready for the playoffs come May.
Real quick, and the reason why you're on that 8-game winning streak is because everybody is involved in touching the rock, correct? Right. Watch when KD comes back and you got the big three in the playoffs. Now, this is a different type of play. This is a different type of game in the playoffs. So when you got them three on the court, let's see how much the others get involved. That's all up. That's my whole contingency.
I'm hoping for it. I think this would be great. I think a Brooklyn Philly thing would be great. And I'm just so mad that it's during COVID because this is the time that you want to be. I want to be at Barclays and I want to be, at the game. So I mean that's the only hard part about this. Well, not just.
But don't listen to Kill. He a Ben Simmons hater, man. Don't listen to him.
I'm not a Ben Simmons hater. I am not a Ben Simmons hater. Here's the thing. To hate on someone would be saying a mistruth. So if I say LeBron ain't shit, damn, I'm hating on LeBron. Or if I say Steph Curry can't shoot, damn, why you hating? Me saying Ben Simmons can't shoot isn't hating. These are all facts.
No, that's true. But is he playing the best ball of his career right now?
I'll say this yes, I will answer your question. Yes, he's playing the best ball of his career right now. Is that enough to win a chip? No, it is not.
They got the right coaching staff finally. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But here's the thing. Embiid has never played a full season his whole entire career, right? That's a fact. The only time we win is when he has to score 35 or better every night. When he doesn't play, we don't win. So if you taking someone who's never played a whole entire season and now you're making him play all these back-to-back games, putting all this pressure on him. See, here's the thing. If Ben Simmons, I say this all the time, if Ben Simmons was a number 10 pick or 11, 12, 13 pick, I'm not beefing. You can't be a number 1 pick and Shake Milton average more points than you do. You can't. A number one, if you knew that, if you was a GM and somebody from the future came and told you you're number 1
You're talking about Ben now, right? You're talking about
Ben. Ben is only averaging like 15 points a game. And that's great.
What's his other numbers to play? What's his other numbers? His other numbers.
I don't. What the assist?
Yeah, rebounds, assists.
To be honest with you, bro, I'm gonna keep a buck with you. I don't know, because if the only time here's the thing, Ben should be much better than what Ben is. Boumani said it the other day. He's the only player in NBA history who refuses to shoot. That's like being a rapper and you refuse to drop a bar or you refuse to write a rhyme. Like, where they do that at? Like, Kill, you a producer, but you refuse to chop a drum. Your job is to shoot.
That's not true.
What's that?
Rondo. There was a lot of players who had deficiencies. I think
but
Ben Simmons.
What were they? Was Rondo making what Ben is making? Is Rondo on a max contract? No. So see that enables you to have more money to go out and get other pieces.
I love it.
So then you renegotiate. You renegotiate by what you're saying, but you can't replace that defense. Ben Simmons is on the ball. The defense is top notch.
But here's the thing. That's what you want. That's what you want from a number 1 pick? No.
Maybe
that's what you want from a number 22 pick. Because here's the difference with the number 1 pick. It's the money.
I told you we're gonna get his blood boiling when you start talking about this.
I know. But it's only because it's only because of the money. Because if Ben didn't have a max contract, then we could go out and get other people. But because we're paying him as a number 1 pick, we need you to play like a number 1 pick.
But here's the thing about the Sixers that they've never had, right? Okay, let's put Embiid and Ben aside. They got a lot of complementary parts right now that can step up. That like Seth, you don't want to leave him open. You don't. Tobias Harris is playing like a like he's living up to his contract finally.
Right. We're gonna do Apartment B Put in Perspective link up show. That's what we're gonna do. I don't want to keep everybody else here kidnapped. You know what I mean? Like that. But I'll say this, and I tell people this all the time. At 47, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. As your elder statesman, now I know this is your portion show, but I want to.
No. I hope I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, that means we get to go to Broad Street. We get a parade. So I don't mind being wrong. But if I'm right, yeah. So I don't like being right at 46 no more, because being right is not fun no more. I would love everybody to be like, Kill, I told you Ben Simmons, blah, blah, blah. I'll take all of it while we at the parade eating chicken cheesesteaks all day. Y'all can talk shit all up and down Broad Street, the whole parade. Tell me I was wrong, and I'll love it. All right, Porsche, give him everything, miss. Where can
my apologies. Were y'all perspective? Were y'all done? I'm sorry, man. Y'all got me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you get everything out? Like the YouTube channel, everything?
No. And we got a preview of the Apartment B Put It in Perspective. So this is lovely.
Yeah, this is what y'all about to get. This is what y'all about to get when we do the collabo app. Vern, how do you feel about the Hawks? Real quick.
I wish y'all would take that coach that came from Philly back to Philly and give us somebody, because I don't trust this process.
Oh man, you don't like the beard? You don't like Lloyd?
No, I don't. We've lost 10 games in the fourth quarter that we had leads. An old head who's won state championships told me this. Players lose games when they're blowouts. Coaches lose games when they're close. His strategy sucks. The Hawks have arguably the best rim protector in the freaking league, and he's not in the game. And how do we lose to the Cavs? On a drive to the rim. That's Lloyd Pierce. When Lloyd Pierce, God bless you, just had a baby. Nate McMillan coach, we went 2 for 3 against playoff contending teams. We lose to a team that lost 10 games in a row. You know, and I don't want to talk about nothing about injuries, because you're in those games. So it is what it is. You know, I can't wait till Hunter get back. That was a big loss. But yeah, Lloyd, man, he's over his head, bro. And he's supposed to be a defensive coach, but we giving up 130. So I don't see it. We need another coach. We get that, and the healthy dudes come back. We on to something.
Yo, Vern earned a seat in the apartment 5B.
All right, one more quick question. Before we get to you, I don't want to kidnap nobody. One more quick question. Brad Stevens, should he get a pass for this COVID? Everybody's saying the Celtics suck, fire him. I'm like, what is COVID? You got people, they just stop playing.
Who's saying that? That is nonsense.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. All right, I apologize. Okay, forget it. Forget the question. I got my answer. Cool. Porsche, where can they get at you? She loves Troy, hates Drake. Where can?
Just on Twitter at Cherchez La Porsche, and Be Mad is the one who always causes all the problems on my TL all the time. He is talking about you went and searched this and that and the other. Oh God, I get like friggin' 100 mentions. That's my mentions on fire.
Is that Nori? Is Nori on the show now?
Right.
Oh, shit.
Nori Porsche got Nori in.
Anyway,
All right, so y'all know where to get at Porsche. JR, give him everything, the radio show, the IG live, everything that you're doing, good brother. Interviews, everything.
Me and Elise, we got our new show that we started, which is Catch That, which probably by the time this comes out, our interview with Zoe is out. So that's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for everybody to see that. We got our lives on Tuesday from 8 to 10. My radio show, which is on WFDU 89.1 on iHeartRadio, is on Thursdays from 2 to 4. We just did our last episode on Dilla, which was dope. And then find us on the R&B Representatives on Instagram, the R&B Reps on Twitter, rnbreps.com, and JR's World of Soul on Twitter.
All right, no doubt. And you already know this with me, Kill 889, everything, Twitter, IG, We'll Make Beats for Food. Porsche, since you're here next week, then we can do our 5B book club, because I want to make sure you were here for that, for our top 5 books and everything like that. And for everybody watching, if you are interested, what is it, Porsche, the 27th, we're going to be doing our book club on this book.
I was just about to say, my book comes tomorrow.
Rough House, it's the history of Rough House Records.
At the end of March, right?
It's at the end of March, last Monday of March. I want to say it's like the 27th.
Be Mad needs to give them the information as well, because he didn't know yet.
What happened?
I said Be Mad needs to give everyone his information, because he hasn't done it yet. Just before
where can they get at you? What's your Twitter and everything?
At BMad730.
There it is.
On Twitter, man. That's where you can find me.
All right.
Oh, what's up?
But we're going to be chopping up about this. Rough House Records. This was Cypress Hill, Crisscross, the Fugees. It was a record label out of Philadelphia. So we're going to be chopping up about this. So if you want to join in the convo, definitely get this. Trez put the book Worm back in our bag to get our joint, the Book of Rhymes. We definitely, once everybody gets their hands on Glory, we'll definitely be chopping it up about that. And yo, I appreciate y'all.
What's the scenario?
Oh, thank you, Porsche. This is why you're the co-host, because I keep putting this down. Check out What's the Scenario. You got to get this joint. Like I said, sowhatgames.com. Use the promo code Apartment5B. You will get free shipping. Definitely a dope game. In 2 weeks, we will be playing it live.
I'm still waiting for mine. As soon as I get it, it'll be everywhere. I'm going to plaster that everywhere.
Here's the problem. I am allergic with going to the post office. I truly am. Like, it's literally across the street at the mall, and I just hate going to the post office. I'm going tomorrow to mail this to you, so you could get it. But yes, definitely. SoWhatGames.com. What's the Scenario? Promo code Apartment5B. We're good to go. I will check y'all next week, y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yo.